I lost a bet to Fee that I had to start this with like a UK ghetto road man street voice. And it kind of went along the lines of like, "Sup guys, welcome to the Captive Raptors podcast with me, your host, Paul's Monitors, yeah?" But I didn't want to start it straight off like that in case people thought I was racist. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. I tried to get some new lights and I still look blown out, but just ignore that. How are we all doing? 14 people in chat. Like the video. What's up, guys? I'm going to get to the comments in just a second. But let's get the housekeeping out of the way first. Shout out to the Bug Factory. I need to get an order in because your boy's out of bugs. If you're in the UK, use Paul's-Monitors-5 for 5% off your first order of live food. And they're pretty much one of the cheapest I have found online. Plus, obviously, sustainably growing mealworms in a recycled from recycled fridges in the fancy little mealworm grow pod, and I'm back using it at the minute because I'm growing mealworm beetles for my toad-headed agamas. So yeah, check out the Bug Factory. Link is in the description. And then obviously, shout out to you guys. Thank you very much. My camera looks a bit. Are we not on? I'm going to check my settings in a bit because I don't think we might be on 1080. But anyway, shout out to you guys. Shout out to the Patreon. Thank you for everybody that supports me that little bit more. If you guys, other than obviously liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, if you guys would like to support me that little bit more, then please feel free to check out the Patreon. You get entrance into the private Discord. The private Discord knows a super secret that I have going on, and also some new animals that I've recently got, which I'm not going to make public for quite a while. They're over there on the Patreon / the Discord. And if you can't join the Discord through the Patreon, then just message me and I will get it sorted because there's a few people that have struggled to join. So just message me privately on Instagram and I will hook you up. Right, let's see what the comments are saying. And then we're going to get into this podcast. But first, where is settings? Let me just see if my camera is on. Oh, it's on 1080. We just don't look as crisp as normal. But anyway. Fee wins. Fee and bam, boom, bam. Have had let me get rid of the banner. I've had a little. I saw this off air, but apparently, all right. Just to clear, I don't delete the comments. I think they only stay live for like 12 or 24 hours. But yeah, hello, bam. Thank you for joining in. I'm sorry that Fee beat you to today's winning comment. Hello, Gary. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Touch. Thank you for tuning in. Someone for looking for Aki's in chat today. Anyone know if Paul in here? I have Aki's due to hatch any day. Where we at? Riddler. Hello, Riddler. How you doing? Quick shower. Oh wow. Riddler could be naked at this point. Hello, Viv Visions. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Rick. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. I am trying to read the comments, guys, but you guys have been going crazy and I'm here for it. Hello, Amy. She's here for the Peach Road talk. Best believe. Have I missed anybody? Is there anything that I need? Hello, Mike. Yes. Hello, Mike. Paul. Hello, Tree. Where are we at? Is that? Oh God. Have I got everybody? If I got everybody, I'm ignoring all of you. So if there's something serious, then write it again. Just double checking. Hello, Matt. Thank you for tuning in. Wow, you guys have been talking loads. I'm here for it. Serenity Dragons. Hello. How are we doing? Fee's happy to see Serenity. Dan. Hello, Dan. How are you doing, my friend? Thank you for tuning in. What else we got? Mango Wagget. I don't know what's going on. This is probably why I should read the comments. I feel like I'm a lot closer than normal as well. I don't know what's going on, but anyway. Ravishing Reptiles is Florida man, but I don't know how good he is with tools. And also, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, hello Ruben, thank you for tuning in, my friend. How are we doing? Can't make the first hour of this or so, but I suspect I've plenty to watch. Yeah, I'm sure we will still be here. Hello Jody, thank you for tuning in. All right, are we there? I think we're there. Okay, right. All right, I've ignored you all. Anyway. Any more serious comments? 16 people like the video. If anyone wants to say anything, I will try and dip back into it. But anyway, without further ado, today's guest, Mr. Logan. I should have asked you before this. Zek? Is it Logan Zek?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Nice, nice. Hello.
Hello. How
Thank
you
you for
doing?
having me.
No.
Good. You?
Yeah, I'm good. My pleasure. I can't remember exactly when I think we started speaking over peach throats a while ago on Instagram.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
How is this Sunday treating you?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. Can't complain. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day.
What part of America are you in?
Michigan. So it's getting pretty cold here. It's
Yeah.
fall time.
I only know purely just because of Brian Barczyk, roughly the climate there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a clue. But I know you do get. It's similar. I think you're similar to us. I think you get like a winter. It's not freezing, but it's definitely cold. Get snow and stuff like that.
Yeah. We can get like quite a few feet of snow.
Oh, okay.
And it can get down to like get down to like -20, probably worse.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, freezing cold.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I take it back. I take back everything I said. Oh no, Fee, text me right now 2 animals. I thought I was prepared, and we haven't got the 2 animal question. Fee, text me right now because we're going into the quickfire questions. We're just going to get the quickfire questions out of the way. She might have already. She hasn't texted me. Fee, text me the animals if you're here. We're going to go into the quickfire questions, and then we'll get a bit into yourself and the species you keep. I literally said off air, I was like, yeah, I'm actually prepared this time. Anyway, snakes or lizards? It's a hard one for you.
It is, yes. Because I have like 23 snakes, 4 lizards. I might have to go lizards though.
Lizards. Money or time?
Time.
Mentally strong or physically strong?
Mentally strong.
Wild caught good, wild caught bad?
It can be good, but it can also be bad. Like
Pro snake.
What's up?
No, carry on.
I would just say like in the wrong hands, like wild caught can be bad, but in the right hands, it's good.
Pro snake rack, no snake rack?
I'd say no snake rack, but not all the way. So like for babies maybe to grow up, but also I'd probably make sure that they were clear, big tubs, and also with some lighting. Like I saw these it was Animals at Home. He posted this snake rack one time that was like all clear tubs. It had beautiful lighting in it, but I never figured out the name of it. But
I think
it looked dope.
Ridder, if you're still here, I think that's Show Me Kitties. I don't follow her, but I think it's Show Me Kitties who did that rack with the see-through tub with lighting, I think. Also, as well, for everybody listening, you are the last person to ever answer that question because I'm moving away from being that guy that's like, racks are bad. Because we know that they're bad, in my opinion, and I don't need to keep bringing light to it. So that was the last time that question will ever be asked on this podcast until we have Riddler back on, and because it's his whole personality. But anyway, arid species or tropical species?
Tropical.
Okay, this is a part of the podcast where we get Fee to panic and send me 2 animals. So she's asked pigeons or wombats?
Wombat.
Easy.
Yep.
Big reptiles, small reptiles?
I used to think big, but probably small now.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to elaborate. Just purely, I know we're not supposed to, but I'm going to.
Right. So I used to think that like you could keep like retics and big boas and stuff in small racks. I used to think like that, but after keeping how I've kept, there's just no way that you can keep something that big. And then also it's super hard to keep something that big. It's like for these garters, I wanna give them actually bigger enclosures, but still kind of hard. So
I know. I feel exactly what you mean. I'm also struggling to spell. So chat. Pigeons are the closest living relative to the dodo bird. Anyway, I'm looking at it at the minute, being an Indicus keeper, being a Jobiensis keeper, being a Box of Savannah monitor keeper. He's gone again. This happened earlier. No. We'll get him to come back. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll message him. Say less. I don't know why this is happening, but we're here for it anyway. We're just going to talk about the pigeons. Some pigeons are really nice. Like some pigeons are like really, really, really colourful. And they're also dodos. So I don't think that was a bad answer. All right. We'll see when he comes in again. How's everybody doing? I think. Oh yeah, Repti chat. Hello, Repti chat. I think that's still everybody. Well, there you go. Eating pigeons. I'm not sure if you would have eaten wombat before. So flying rats. Device not connected. I don't know if you can hear me, Logan. But I think it's like either your camera or your microphone that could be the issue. So I'm going to remove him. Please bear with us, everybody. Okay, he's left. He's left. Please bear with us as we have these technical difficulties. Where are we at with things anyway? How's everybody Sunday treating them? I don't know what's going on. I need to sort my lighting out. That looks good. So maybe we'll sit back. The further your boy sits away, the better we look. Maybe. I don't know. I just feel a bit blown out. Maybe I need to move the camera. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? See what's going on. We've had some technical difficulties with Matt before. The problem is he's on his phone right now. That's the problem. Okay, he's back. He's back, everybody. He's back. Here he is. Hello.
All right, we're good. We're good. Okay, cool.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Okay, I think it's because I keep clicking on the chat, so I'm gonna not do that again.
Okay. I think it's because when your camera disappears, it thinks that you're not in, and then it's because it says at the bottom like no camera / no mic. So I think that's what it is. I don't know if you've got like a tablet or another device you can see the chat on. I don't know.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay. Right, we're back. Everyone, I'm ignoring you again. We're just gonna go carry on where we were. We were at big monitors or dwarf monitors.
Probably dwarf.
Interesting.
I mean, and I got the P strokes. Yes. that's the biggest I'd say that somebody can go.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Yes.
I know what you're saying. Would you rather be Instagram famous or YouTube famous?
Probably YouTube famous.
That money.
Yep.
I think I know the answer. Pro croc, no croc.
I say pro croc.
You look like a kind of guy that would wear crocs.
I don't actually, but
what?
But I'd say pro croc. Yeah, I like slippers, but crocs are cool.
But you're under 30. How can you be a member of slipper gang?
I don't know.
Riddler's bloody infiltrating.
My feet get cold.
You can get fluffy crocs. Fee's got some fluffy crocs. I don't like fluffy crocs. I'll admit, fluffy crocs seem they're here for it. Slipper gang, pro crocs for slipper gang. Hey. This is the most on the fence you can be. Wild types. Oh no, I skipped over. Feisty or tame.
I don't know. I like both. Like it's nice having some feisty animals because it gives you that action, I guess. But it's nice to have tame animals that you can just pick up and chill with.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that. I have Mango to keep me on my toes, and then the Akis to cuddle if I want to cuddle a lizard. Wild types or morphs?
Probably have to go with morphs. Yeah, I really like morphs. I don't know, they're really cool. So like, But the wild types are really nice too. So
Like
I
I
do
say, on
have
garter snakes, they're wild, no? They're naturally occurring, or like the fancy colours of. I don't know enough about it, but the fancy patterns
I
and
mean,
colours on garter snakes are natural.
kind of.
Okay.
So like the flame, like the all red ones, that does
Yeah.
occur naturally in Canada and like Quebec. And
Okay.
then but then you also have melanistic, which it's a morph, but it does also naturally occur a
Yeah.
lot in Ohio. Like they catch like so many melanistics in Ohio for some reason. But then there is albino. There's one there's called golden. That's like almost all patternless. It's gorgeous in my opinion. There's another albino called Florida albino, which is like it's a T negative albino, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I just really like morphs. They're cool.
Planet Earth 3 aired today, everybody, with our dearly beloved David Attenborough, David Attenborough, if you're not in the UK. And there's garter snake. We haven't watched it yet. I found out today that it was on, and it was already too late. We had a podcast to get to, so sorry, David, you're on the back burner. There is one last question. The last question is, in your opinion, what's the best pet monitor?
Well, I've only had peach throats, so but I'd probably not say that's that one. But everybody always says Aki, so I'll just go with that.
Yeah, you can say
Yeah.
peach. It's just your opinion. It doesn't have to be like. Doesn't
All
have
right.
to
In my
be
honest
like.
opinion, I don't think a peach
No,
would be
I
the
agree.
best. Would be the best for everybody. No, definitely not.
So on that, then let's get a bit more into yourself. Let's start off with how you got into keeping reptiles.
I feel like it's the same story that like a lot of people have. Started as a child, I was obsessed with dinosaurs. I think it started with like Land Before Time, watching that growing up.
OG, yeah.
Yep. Turned into Jurassic Park, and then I learned about real life dinosaurs. You know, and then as a kid, I was told to like go outside and flip boards for snakes. So that's what I did, and then that was basically my whole childhood. Just going outside, flipping boards, finding snakes. It was basically just garter snakes because that's all we have around here in Michigan. We also have the red belly snakes. Those are pretty cool. Those are small little guys. We have a smooth green snake. I know there's the rough green snake, but we have the smooth green snake.
Yeah.
Those are really cool. And yeah, so that's basically how I got into it. Just been obsessed since a child.
How old were you when you got your first pet reptile?
I owned a couple turtles growing up. I was probably maybe 8 years old. I don't know. Caught a turtle, like a little quarter-size painted turtle. Kept it for a few years, quite a few years actually. But then I got rid of that, and then I had a snapping turtle growing up. But then that got too big, so I had to move that on. And then for quite a while, I didn't have any reptiles until like 3 years ago is when I finally was able to actually get back into garter snakes. So
What was it about the garter snakes that? Because correct me if I'm wrong, because we did sort of touch on it. Let's touch on it first. So what currently are you keeping now?
I have garter snakes, so I keep a few different species of garter snakes. I have the eastern garter snake. I have the Lake Chapala garter snake, which is a Mexican species. And then I have another Mexican species called the Lake Quitzo. I believe that's how it's pronounced, Lake Quitzo. And then yeah, those are the only 3 species of garters that I got. And then I have the 4 peach throats.
Sick. I can't say too much, but keep your eye on my page, ladies and gentlemen, for peach throat content. Maybe. Anyway. So what was it about the garter snakes? What was it about those that
it was just growing up catching them all the time, just seeing all their different colors and patterns and everything like that, and then also figuring out that there's different morphs as well. So it's just they're beautiful and they're very underrated. Not a lot of people talk about them or keep them. And it's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that do keep them that kind of say that they're kind of stupid or they talk bad about them, but I think they're extremely smart. It's like I can see all their different personalities. Like right now, they're all just coming right up to the front. I can open this and
let me bring you on full screen so everybody can see. Solo layout. There you go.
I probably actually.
Are they relatively social? I know they're social in regards to each other, but like as in like when you handle them, do you get feisty ones, or are they for the most part are they all pretty good?
So it does take a little bit of handling to get them kind of chill.
That red one's sick. I don't know what it is, but that red one's sick.
Yeah. So that is a flame.
Yeah.
It's called a flame garter snake.
I do really like garter snakes. I don't. You know, I don't know what I'm doing now. Okay, exit so that. Okay, yeah. Oh, that thing is amazing, mate.
Yeah, that's good. This is Mephisto. He's
Literally,
a flame, like, and then he actually might be a low erytheristic. So that's another different kind of like morph.
Yeah.
That just adds red to the top there. But he may or may not be, but it's kind of hard to say.
Because garter snakes, I'll be honest, I've kind of shot myself in the foot because I think garter snakes would be perfect for me because they're diurnal, they're active, they're not particularly big, they're communal, and they remind me of like my childhood species, in the sense of grass snakes over here. But because I've had snakes, gone off snakes, had snakes, gone off snakes, Fee's very much like, you don't need any more snakes. And I'm like, but garter snakes. So it's your job today, no pressure, to convince Fee to let me get a garter snake or two or 10. All jokes aside, I said to you off air, I forget the species, the Thanos ones. Matt said somewhere he's trying to convince the wife to. So basically, Matt's not allowed snakes, but outside maybe. And those blue ones that we saw at the show, there was a guy, I don't know his name, but there's a guy in the UK and he had a big table just dedicated with garter snakes. He had a big paludarium on the table. And there was a couple of babies swimming around in there, which obviously at a reptile show is great because you get to see them do their natural behaviors rather than just in deli cups. And then he had all the individual species in their little deli cups on like a big bit of A4 like laminated paper with a picture of their native range, all this information. And it was the most decorative table there, and I didn't realize there were so many species because I'm a monitor man. I obviously know about garter snakes, but he had like so many colors of like the same snake, obviously different species. And I was like, yeah, they are pretty, and especially the melanistic. Was it you? I commented. Do you have a melanistic one? Was it your page? I
don't know if you commented, but I do have melanistics. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I remember seeing one recently. And I was like, I need that. But I can't remember. I generally can't remember whose it was. But the melanistic garter, I don't know if we have them in the UK. If we do, someone please message me. But the melanistic garter snakes are like out of this world.
Yeah, so here we go.
Yeah, man, that is sick. See, Fee, look at that. Tell me we don't need one of them.
They're pure black and they got this little white chin. They all got little white chins.
Yeah, that's sick. And what species of garter is that?
This is the Eastern. So it's Thamnophis tertalis.
That's sick, mate.
But then I can also show the Lake Chapalas are pretty cool too because they're just naturally really dark.
Yeah.
But
are they the ones that like olive, almost like drab olive green sort of thing?
Kind of almost. So this guy's a little more flighty. But they got like nice blue bellies. I don't know if camera's really picking it up or not, but
you can see it. Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's spot on. Yeah, that's spot on.
Super dark with like blue belly.
quite thick
And
set
they're
for a
pretty
sort of,
iridescent too.
yeah.
Yeah, and these guys actually get huge. They get like they're naturally like 4 feet long.
Which is big for a garter snake because they're normally like 2 to
Yes.
3 foot,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Males being
Yeah. The
smaller from.
Easterns. Yeah. The males, they probably only get like 2 feet,
Yeah.
and the females, I have caught like 50-inch Easterns. So
Jesus
that's a
Christ.
massive Eastern. Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
huge.
I have a pretty big girl too, but she's maybe 36 inches.
Yeah.
So that's what, 3 feet, a little bit over 3 feet.
Yeah, 36 being 3 feet. How do you go about feeding them? Do you have issues with them all going for the same prey? Because over here, there's a stigma with garter snakes, just to sort of clear this up. Over here, the stigma is chop up pinkies, chop up fish, chop up worms, bits and bobs like that, put it on a bowl and feed them is how to feed baby garter snakes. So I'll let you
Right.
take that away.
Yeah, so that's how I feed my babies. But I'll only keep like 4 babies together, so that lessens the chances of accidental eating a sibling. So
Yeah.
now there's that. But I keep like there's 6 in this tank. And sometimes if it gets a little crazy, I'll have to like separate, like feed one, put them into a bucket, and then feed the rest. But other than that, it's pretty chill. But yeah, so
Have they got faster metabolisms than, like, for example,
yeah.
do
So
you feed them once a week, 3 times a week?
I feed every like 5 days.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Over here in England, we have the grass snake, which musks, and it has obviously the most unique, strange smell, horrid, putrid smell.
Oh yeah.
I love
That's
it.
terrible.
Like, it reminds me of my childhood. So when I catch them now, I'm like, oh my God,
so, yeah.
that's like bliss. But yeah, how I guess they get out of it as they get older, I guess. The musking, that is.
Well, I have in my paludarium, I have 3 lake chapalas, and for some reason, the Mexican species, they're just super crazy, and they haven't really tamed down yet. So those guys, like if I go to pick them up, they'll musk all over me. And
Yeah.
then I also have like a video on my Instagram where like they're all like jumping up, biting, like trying to bite me and stuff. So, like they're pretty feisty too. But after you pick them up and just hold them for a second, they calm down.
They're rear
But
fang venomous
the
as well, yeah.
Easterns, what was that?
They're rear fang venomous as well. Like, obviously not harmful, but they are rear
Right,
fang.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they do have big rear fangs, but yeah, it doesn't unless you're allergic. So like you can go to anaphylactic shock or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you're allergic to bees and you've never been bit by a garter snake, you might want to watch out. I don't know.
Don't risk it, yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, sorry, the Easterns.
The Easterns, they seem like they're just way more chill for some reason. They're just a more chill species.
And what was it that set you on the 3 species that you keep? What was it about them individually? Well, because someone's just said, where was it? The San Frans, which are they the red sides, the San Frans ones? Are also amazing too. So what was it about the species you keep? Is it because the morphs of the species that you keep, so you can get a bit more sort of color flavors with them, or?
So for like the Easterns, yeah, kind of like they have they don't have the most morphs, but they have, I don't know, it's just their colors and the pattern. It's just that it's just what sticks with me. It's what I like. They have like a checkered pattern. Some have like a circle pattern. I have one that has like diamonds going down the back. So Easterns, they're extremely variable in their pattern. And then but there's also like the plains garter snake. Those that has a lot of morphs in there, but I feel like there's, I don't know, they're just not for me. It's not my type. The San Francisco, I believe that one I cannot keep. That's actually illegal for me to keep.
Is
But
that because it can be invasive, or why is?
no, it's because it's endangered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the California red-sided, I can keep.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. That's over
Yeah,
here then.
and that's
Yeah.
a different species.
Yeah, pool
I
snakes.
feel
This is
like no,
it.
I think you can actually keep the San Francisco
I think we do have
because
someone.
I
Michael
know
probably knows
Canada
better than
can
me.
keep it.
Okay, if Canada has it, then we probably have it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fee's already rolling her eyes because she knows that Paul Snakes is making the. I've already got like, I think it's about 5 foot long, maybe 6 foot long. It's like 4 foot wide, 2 foot tall, like a pond in the back garden. So I just build like a pen around that. I'll get some that can live outside, and that's me done. Garter snake
Dope.
dreams. Paul's monitors, Paul's geckos, and now it's Paul's snakes. We're gonna start moving the pod. This is the first podcast. We're gonna get on a bit of monitor talk in a bit, but this is the first podcast that's now gonna be about other species. I am moving the podcast into other species. So garter snakes fit quite well because I really do want garter snakes. So it was like, okay, let's get some talk on garter snakes, and they are the melanistics, black animals for me, just black and green. So garter snakes are fit. But it's just the blue as well. The blue. I don't know the species, but any ones like that red high flame or whatever it was you had, that thing was
Yeah, the flames.
stunning. That was stunning.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous.
And I'm not. I like snakes, but I'm not a massive snake man. But that thing is stunning. But yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean, like there's a lot of normal colors that can be really dope too. Like I have like this gray kind of ones, and there's also this line that I'm working with that has like a blue dorsal stripe. So it's like an Eastern with a blue dorsal stripe that I've never seen before. So I'm trying to hopefully continue to breed that.
As regards to just quickly as well, hello BH, thank you for tuning in. Hello Mr. Scandinavian Guanas, thank you for tuning in. As regards to breeding, I know they need a brumation. And then you see these videos of like the massive breeding balls of garter snakes. Is that most species, or is that just like a couple of species?
I believe I know it's mainly Easterns, but I think all garters do that, and I think all water snakes do that as well. I think water snakes do that as well because I've seen a lot of videos of water snakes kind of balling up too.
So when you have you bred garter snakes and going to
Yes,
breed
yeah,
garter snakes?
I've had a couple litters.
Oh yeah, as well. They look. I forgot they give live birth as well, don't they?
Yes,
That's
they
even.
give live birth.
Just
Yeah.
come in from work one day and you got like 15 baby garter snakes swimming around.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I came in one night and I put my flashlight in the tank and boom, there's a bunch of babies.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
so
It's
sick.
awesome. It's awesome.
Oh, Fee, we might have to So when it comes to breeding, obviously brumate, they come up out of brumation into the spring. Do you keep year-round multiple males together? Do you keep year-round groups together? Like how are your numbers? How do you sort of keep, as in adults?
So
How do you keep them?
right, so I have 5. Well, I have 6 in this enclosure right now, but I'd like to keep usually just 5 in this is a 36 by 18 by 18, and so I keep 5 males in there, and then I have 4 females, and then I have 6 babies in my bottom one. But so I keep all the males together, and then I keep all the females together until I want to breed, and then for that I'll just pair them up into separate enclosures.
Okay, so you keep your males together, females together, and then when it comes to breeding, you just pair individuals. So the male,
Yep.
no, like I know they sometimes fight for breeding, but no dramas or fighting between males.
No, so I mean they all have their little personalities. I mean some of them like they chill with each other, or during feeding they'll like get mad at each other. Like they'll wag their tails and they'll whip their tails at each other. It's really cool. Like just telling each other like get away from me, I'm trying to eat, you know. But when like I put like a female in there, they'll all just like swarm the female, and that's basically it. And it just creates like literally a huge breeding ball.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
And as regards to your setups, how much percentage of the is water and how much is land?
Well, I only have my one paludarium,
Mm-hmm.
and then for all of my other ones, I have just big water dishes inside of them.
So it's just like keeping mangroves, then, really.
Yeah.
When you pick them up, they peel on you, they swim. Ah, it's easy. I'm fit.
Yeah.
I'm keeping cards already. I might. Like, all jokes aside. For me, I probably would keep them outside. So I'd have to find species that are known to thrive in the UK outside, which are the Thanos ones. But they have always appealed to me. I had a I forget what species it was. Lake Chapata. They have like a yellow stripe down their back, and they're like green. I had one when I
Sure.
was young, young. So maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I've only ever had the one garter snake, and I was only maybe 14, and it sadly escaped, and it sort of left a sour taste in my mouth that I've never had them again. But I was mainly seeing them at the show, and I was like, oh, they are really cool, and it sort of took me down the ADHD rabbit hole of looking at all different garter snakes, and I'm like, oh, they are, because they look pretty menacing as well, which I quite like. Their faces almost look a lapid-esque.
Right, that's right. I was gonna say they look kind of like cobras, kind of like cobras. Yeah,
they've got that almost scalation around the eyes, that especially when you get the melanistic ones, that almost makes them look a little bit lapidy. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I could imagine this being, like you say, a cobra or some sort of mamba.
Yeah, I'm looking at my flame right now, and yeah, it just looks just like a cobra.
I imagine they're always out and about. I imagine, considering you keep multiple in the enclosures as well, I imagine that always one doing something.
Yep, they're always all big chilling. So, and then we got a couple down here. I see him down there, but then you got the two up there chilling together. And there's a couple out here, big chilling.
We might have to get some garter snakes. I could house garter snakes. I reckon I could do garter snakes justice. I'll see what's available after this podcast. See if they want Baby Gill and I. Would you trade on Baby Gill and I? That's what I'm doing with everything at the minute. How long is it that you've been? How long have you been keeping the garters for?
I've had them for about 3 years, I'd say. Yeah. Yep.
And you're not, because we all. Because what surprised me is at the start of this before this podcast we were speaking, you were like, yeah, I've just got the two species, obviously different species, but garter snakes, peach rose. I was like, why has he only got two? But I'm going to save it till we get into the podcast. You're not tempted to go, let's fuck it. Let's get, I don't know, some corn snakes or some children's pythons or some ackies. What's sort of stopping you?
Right. So I did kind of think about getting a lot of stuff when I first got into reptiles, but then I got into garter snakes and I got into monitors, and I've been keeping them for a while now, and I'm kind of content. So I don't know. And then there are a couple other things that I want to get into, like possibly I really like the emerald tree boas.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really cool. So I may or may not get into those in the far future. But I did just get a blood python.
Nice.
But that's just gonna be like a pet.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Yeah, it's just I'm pretty content with the species that I own.
So obviously, congratulations, because none of us ever are. We always want more. So congratulations for finding that tranquility. Do you think then it simply was, I caught these as a kid, this is my childhood, this is what I love reptiles for, I'm going to keep them? Do you think it was literally for you as simple as that, and they fit perfectly?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're a perfect species. So I don't know. It's just their colors are amazing. they all have different personalities. So so I get different personalities in them all. I don't know. There's a bunch of different colors, so I guess that's all I need.
Yeah, it fits all the bill. Well, mate, it's a species that fits all the bills, and you get different sizes, different colors. So, do you modify the exoterras? I assume not. If you've just got a tub of water in there, I need to sneeze, so bear with me.
I do. So I do make all my own backgrounds. So I like to add, but for the exoterras, I kind of cheated a little bit. I use the background that comes with it,
Mm-hmm.
but then I just added on foam ledges and stuff, and then I painted it. And some of them I carved a couple little things into, like this tank I carved the Avengers logo into. My paludarium, I made that whole background. I carved my initials, or it's kind of like my logo as well. I carved that into the background. But for all the other ones, I just added a bunch of ledges and stuff, so they have places to climb and places to bask and hide and stuff. But
Yeah.
I also silicone. I silicone the whole tops all the way around, just for no escapees, because I did have some escapees when I first got them. So
I remember I used to keep rough green snakes back in the day. And I remember coming into my reptile room and just seeing a rough green snake out and about cruising around. And I was like, what the hell? For people that don't know, rough green snakes are a very, very skinny insectivorous snake. And I was like, what? So I caught it because it was just sat there, and I caught it, put it back in the exoterra, and I sat and watched it, and it went straight back up to the back of the exoterra where the holes are for the cables, and it went straight up through, even though I had it shut, and just straight through. So I was like, okay, I need to modify this because clearly I'm getting escapees. Just a man and his snakes. See, I don't have anything I can do that with really, other than my Akis. Everything else is all is perplexed. Perplexed what? That he's just happy with two species. Yeah, I am, if that's what you mean.
I do actually want to get into emerald tree skinks. Those look really cool. Look really fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna put
so
you
I can actually just
put you back on full screen again.
I can just put them all.
You can. Oh, there you go. And this is obviously all the same species. Just one's a flame, one's a normal.
Yep. Flame. Got a couple flames, a couple normals.
The flames are, well, the terrible dad joke, but the flames are fire. They are sick. And that's fully grown, yeah?
Yep. Except for this little guy. He is not fully grown.
Tiny little baby. Well, subadult.
Yeah, he's like a year old. But the rest of them, these are all 2-3 years old, fully grown.
They're quite long lived, same as most colubrids.
I've heard that the original albino that was caught in the wild is still alive, and that was 20 years ago. So I'm hoping that they live a long time. But if you look up on Google, it just says that they live 5 years. But I don't believe that.
Years.
So
it's probably been all the fish tanks that they've been kept in with no heat and no light.
yeah, I think that's just going off the wild as well,
Yeah, right. My tissue delivery is here. My left nostril. We don't want to say the C word, but we're not sure what it is. But my household's been very sick the last few days. Cough, cough, fee. And now I've caught
I think it's
it.
just the weather changing. Blame it on the weather change.
Yeah, probably. So I'm going to mute myself and blow my mic, but we're going to get into a couple of quick questions. We will get back to the peach throw talk in a minute. So I'm not ignoring you. Hello, Ravishing. How are you doing? Blah 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 blah. 5 foot ish, I think. I don't know what's going on. I'm just getting attention up. Any more questions? If I missed anything, I don't think so. Right. So what is it about the emerald tree skinks, as I blow my nose, that excites you so much?
They just look like a really awesome species, like little tiny scale puppies, I guess. Kayla Roach has a couple, and I see them jumping out on her and chilling with her all the time. Clint's Reptiles has a couple. He talks about how they're awesome little pets. So it's just kind of want to get into them. They seem awesome.
So, for me personally, I was looking around my room today, and there's a couple of new species, a couple of new animals I've just got. And there is potentially, not including the garter snakes, there is potentially another 1 or 2 animals I'm going to add. I'm looking at my room, and I'm going around my room, and I'm thinking about all the sizes of the enclosures, and I'm thinking out that space, and then I'm thinking about what I want from a captive. And I notice if there's an animal that I can't see or I can't interact with, I tend to just go off them. Call it my ADHD brain, call it just regardless, I just go off them. So if you, because obviously you're thinking about these emerald tree skinks, they sound similar to garter snakes. Have you, like, in your head, consciously or subconsciously, got like a criteria list for what you need in a captive to fit your room? Or do you just go, this is cool, I'm just going to get this? Like, is there a thought process behind that?
Honestly, yes and no, I guess. It's like I would like to kind of be able to interact with my animals.
Yeah.
But then I guess at the end of the day, like my peach throats, like I only interact with 3 of my peach throats. My other peach throat completely hates me.
Yeah.
So, and that's totally fine. I barely ever see them eat as well, and that's totally fine. But I mean, it is nice to be able to just be able to sit here and grab all my snakes and chill with them. So
yeah, how you've got your setup to your right, like a baker's rack with the exoterras on it. So I've got similar for my geckos. I've got 2 little Gilleneye exoterras at the top. I have the 2 gecko ones, and I've just sorted it out today and made it because I've got a couple of new geckos potentially coming in a month or so. And I just sat down on my little chair, like you say, with this rack with everything have LEDs and halogens and UVB, and I was looking at it and I was like, these are all small enclosures but big relative to the animals, and it takes up no space in my room, and I can just sit here and I can watch, or I can go in and I can interact. And I was like, maybe I've got it wrong, keeping all these big animals that I never see, that when I do see, run off or try to kill me. And I'm like, I feel like for myself, I'm having this bit of a, because I used to keep quite a lot of different species, and then I went just monitors, and now we're pulse monitors, pulse geckos, pulse garter snakes. And it's like, for me, I don't necessarily think it's about the species. I think it's about the fact I need to see them, the fact I need to be able to interact with them. So it seems similar with the garter snakes having the interactivity as well as the activity in the enclosures, and emerald tree skinks are the same. They seem highly social and highly active. So from what you're explaining, it seems like they're just a natural fit for your criteria.
Yeah.
What is it about the blood python that made you get the blood python? Because they're nasty bastards, or can be. We don't discriminate.
Okay. Yes.
They
can be, but for some reason, so I was told that the one that I was getting was actually pretty nasty.
Okay.
But it's only hissed at me. But every time I go to pick it up, it just like it's definitely not used to being handled that much. I can tell that. But it'll hiss a couple times, but then it'll start tongue flicking, chill, and then it's been super nice. Hasn't even struck at me once.
Big one, little one.
And what was that?
Is it a big blood python, like an adult?
It's like she's like 3 feet.
Oh, okay. So like half. They get like 5-6 foot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they get like 6 foot 30 pounds, I think.
Okay, yeah, just fat.
Yeah.
Slugs.
Super fat. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching a video years ago. There was an adult blood python eating like an adult rabbit. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This snake can eat this thing. Yeah.
And then Brian Barczyk, I believe he has the biggest blood python.
Yeah, from Desiree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Have you been to the Reptarium?
Quite a few times, yes.
Yeah. Is it? This isn't like a trap. Is it good? Is it sick? Is it like, yeah?
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I can fully say that it is.
Good. I'm
Like
not
I've
anti
never
but I
went
think, yeah.
there. I've never went there and like had a bad experience or like a bad time or been like, dang, they need to clean these enclosures or anything like that. No, they're always spotless enclosures. All the animals seem happy. They always
Yeah,
make sure to not stress out the animals because sometimes like I'll be like, I'll go up to them and I'll be like, hey, can I hold this animal? I'll be like, no, we're giving her the weekend off. You know.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's good, man.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it's. I support the Reptarium.
Yeah,
So.
I'm not anti just wherever I'm not anti Brian Barczyk at all. Like
Right.
at
Right.
all. I have opinions on a couple of big content creators, but Brian's not one of them. I have opinions on everybody does. And I found it super interesting when he first put Lucy into this really big enclosure that she's in, and he was like almost crying. And that mentality shift that he documented for everybody to see, because regardless of what you say, the man's putting his life online, no different to I am, and he's going through motions and he's going through changing and he's doing his best, no different to I am, and he's doing it on a scale like a million times bigger than I am, and I feel the pressure, let alone the biggest YouTuber. So yeah, I'm not anti Brian, but I just wondered, because if I was ever in Michigan, I would like to go there. You know, it's not like I'm
Right.
going, oh look, you know, I would love to go to the Reptarium. I don't know if I'm ever going to go to Michigan. I don't know what's going on. Chat happened last night too. What are you on about, Fee? But yeah, we watched his. I haven't watched any of his videos in a while, but we watched one of his videos today whilst we were eating dinner just before this, and I was like, yeah, I don't dislike this man. You can tell he's a super passionate guy, regardless of how people question how he keeps this, that, and the other, blah blah blah. But yeah, I'm not anti Brian, so I just want to put that out there.
I feel like
publicly.
his recent videos have been pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't seen, man. Mainly because I've been busy, not because I don't support. But I don't really watch anybody. I have to watch Riddler because he watches my videos. But other than that, I generally don't have time to sit down. We started a series, Good Omens, Bad Omens, the David Tennant Angel Demon thing. And we got like 2 episodes in, and we're like, yeah. And it's been like 3 weeks now. We haven't had a chance to sit back down. So it's not a discrimination against him, but yeah, I was just curious because I know for a fact I would be going if there was like a reptarium near me. There's a crocodile zoo in the UK called Crocodiles of the World, and it's about 2 hours from me. But if it was round the corner, I know I'd be there every weekend. So I don't know how big Michigan is. I don't know if the Reptarium's close, sort of like an hour. I don't
It's
know.
like 2.5 hours away from me.
Oh Jesus! Okay.
So
Okay.
honestly, to me, that's not that bad.
No. Okay. That's a lot. In my head, I don't know why, but in my head, it'd be like, I don't know, 50-minute. I obviously don't know how big Michigan is, but in my head, it'd be like a 50-minute. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's Michigan's pretty big. It's like you can drive from the bottom to the top. It's like 8 hours.
So pretty much the size of England. Yeah.
Dang, I don't know about that.
Well, England itself,
I have no idea.
from the bottom of England to the bottom of Scotland, is like 8 to 9 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's like 13-hour drive to do the top to the very bottom, but that's including Scotland, and Scotland technically isn't England; it's its own country.
But I'd say it's only a couple hour drive across.
Okay, I know what you're saying.
So,
I know. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Michigan actually just looks like the palm of your hand. Actually, this is what Michigan looks like.
Okay. Yeah. Americans think 6-hour trip is just popping out for the day. Yeah. We here in the UK, like our cities. So my closest city where I live is, well, I guess technically Guildford, but Guildford's maybe not a city, but it's like 10 minutes from me, and then from there is London. And then that's only like 50 minutes from me. So, and then Portsmouth, which is only like, I'm situated around like 4 cities that I can get to within like an hour. And it's just like, and our counties, which would be the same as your states, I can get to 4 counties within like 25 minutes. Any way I can get to a different county. So it's not that big. We're a tiny little rock in the ocean. But anyway, what's your favorite animal at the Reptarium? Let's just change gears, but I don't care. What's your favorite animal at the Reptarium?
on snap. I'd have to say either Beetlejuice, the Bell's Phase Lace Monitor, or Perdita, the cowrie tick.
Yeah. Just in chats. Yeah, I
But
don't know.
then Baby Kush, the crack monitor, is also very awesome.
Is the public allowed to hold Beetlejuice or not?
Beetlejuice, I think maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Definitely not Baby Kush.
No. I didn't think he'd get that.
But I have held Perdita a couple times.
That's cool, man. The two-headed snake as well, Ben and Jerry. See, I'm a
Ben and
fan.
Jerry.
I know.
Yeah,
I know
he's
these
cool.
animals.
He's cool.
Has he got garter snakes?
No. So I did ask them, and I guess they did at first, but nobody was interested in them, so they just ended up like moving them out and putting something else in. Yeah.
Because he
Nobody
breeds
cares about garter snakes, man.
We'll change it. I'll get some.
Hopefully, I'm trying to.
We'll do like Skylar's done, and you can create a dedicated garter snake page, and we'll just do loads of collab posts and post loads of stuff around garter snakes.
Yeah.
We got to convince Fee first, but she's pretty good. She goes, and then I just get it, and she just looks at me. So she's pretty good. We'll see.
Just get it, and then. Yeah.
To be fair, I don't have to be one of these guys. You know who you are in the chat. That has to like ask the missus. Like I can just be like, I'm getting a garter snake. She'd be like, but let me get through Christmas, New Year project. I've kind of lost track of what we were saying now. Okay, we've kind of spoke on this, but we'll stick on the garter snake theme for now, because obviously a lot of people in here are like, oh, they're kind of cool, they're kind of this. What are the 3 things that you would say to me, who's someone who's barely kept a garter snake, that I need to watch out for or make sure that I do before and whilst I have garter snakes?
I'd say just handle them decently frequently, because if you don't, they will tend to musk on you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can just like hold them from babies, and then just they'll be pretty chill, and then they'll never musk on you. A lot of people complain about garter snakes because they stink all the time, or because they musk on people. But I've held mine all the time, and they never musk on me anymore, except for the Mexican species, which just are a little bit crazier for some reason.
What about diet?
I mean, honestly,
the diet seems quite not controversial, but you get so many people recommending so many different things, and obviously a varied diet is important. But like, what have you got a staple that you feed yours, or is there like certain things that they love, or what are you feeding them?
I try to mainly feed fish, so like silver sides, those little fish, and then
that's perfect. I've got them in the freezer anyway for the mangroves. Done.
And then I also feed mice. Some people say don't feed mice, but honestly, so like my closest pet store is like an hour away, almost 2 hours away, and that's where I get all my silver sides, and it's just easier for me to order online as well. So I just order mice online, but then when I can, I just I drive and I stock up on the silver sides. So as babies, you have to chop up pinkies, and I do chop up silver sides a little bit as well, but those kind of don't chop up really nice.
Yeah,
so,
I know that. Yeah.
Worms as well. So you have to feed like chop up worms. And a lot of people think that's kind of gross, which it is, to be fair. I get grossed out doing it. So
yeah.
But gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. So if you do buy a garter snake, make sure it's at least big enough to eat pinkies or little silver sides. That'd be something.
And then
they're a really chill snake.
basking spot, because some people don't keep halogens, some people do. I think I saw that you had a dome over the top of yours, so I'm assuming you're using some form of light bulb.
Yeah, so some of them I have halogens. They're just 25-watt halogens.
Yeah.
And then some of them it's just like I can't tell you what kind of bulb it is, but the basking spot gets up to like 95.
Okay. And do you find that
Yeah.
they bask quite a lot?
They'll bask up there quite frequently after eating, but then like as just sitting here, I seen them basking for a few minutes, and then now they're just exploring. So
Nice. And then ambience, roughly just room temperature.
yeah, I say like 70, 75. So
Yeah, obviously every people listening, I'm sure every species has its own nuance, but just as a general staple sort of thing. And then as regards to size of enclosures, because you said a little bit ago you'd like to do a bit of an upgrade on certain stuff and stuff. What is a realistic? Oh, also as well, enclosure sizing as well as because they are a communal species. Do you believe that you can go out and buy one garter snake, or do you think that they have to be in pairs or groups?
so you can, I guess, keep just one garter snake if that's what you want, but I feel like it's gonna be pretty boring for yourself because keeping multiple garter snakes, you get to see the actual different personalities, and then you get the you get the interaction during feeding. So it's like, yeah, it's like sometimes you gotta watch out for feeding, but that's the fun of it. Um, and yeah, if you're only keeping one, you don't get to see the different personalities. So like I have some that are chill and like they're always out, but then I have some that are pretty shy and they'll be hiding. Some are feisty, some are not. So I don't know. I feel like you don't need to keep multiple, but I feel like it's good to.
This is an interesting question because I say about choice-based handling with monitor lizards, and I don't believe monitors should be handled not on their own terms. What's your opinion on this with your garter snakes?
Um,
It's not to try and trap you out. You can just be like,
right,
we'll
right,
skip
right.
over that,
Yeah,
bro.
no,
But yeah.
I do kind of, I do kind of just go in there and pick them up, you
Hmm.
know, even if they are kind of like wigging out a little bit, I'll just pick them up, but then they always calm down. It's always
Hmm.
like an instant calm down, and they're tongue flicking and everything like that, so I can see that they're not stressed. So I don't know. I guess it's different with them in a way.
Yeah, I think it's, on that whole handling thing, like it's morning, Mr. Frizy. How you doing, my friend? It's okay. This is gonna make me sound like a twat, but I don't care, so I'm gonna go for it. So everybody that messages me on Instagram as regarding mangrove monitors, they say to me, "Oh, this, or this," and regardless of the outcome, I always ask for the basking spot, and I always ask to see a picture of the setup. And sometimes these mangroves are super, super social, but they're being kept in like a barren landscape, and they're being, let's just say, forced handled in the sense of going in and pick it up. But these animals, they seem social, they seem cognitive, and my brain is like, okay, is this good? Is this not good? Is this? And I think there's not enough done on it to understand if it is doing a long-term detriment or just a short-term detriment. And I think that is the truth of the matter. I think everybody can have their own opinions on it. And I think reading an animal is key and understanding it. Because some animals, for example, your fourth peach throat, just does not want to be touched, doesn't want to be seen, doesn't want to be played with.
Yeah,
So I think to go in there and forcefully handle that animal is unfair, in my opinion.
yeah,
For example, same as Mango. Me going in to just pick up her is unfair because she clearly doesn't like it. But if I decided to do it with one of the babies that calms down quite quickly, which I don't know because I don't do it, it could be a different dynamic. And if I ever do get a captive bred mangrove, best believe I'm pissing that little fucker off until it loves me because I'll feel less bad because it's captive bred. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know if you agree with that or not, but
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. So it's like I definitely don't want to go in there and just force handle the monitors. That I don't do.
Mm.
Like, especially my one that's always hiding. So like him, so he'll come out during feeding, but like he'll barely come walk out on me. But then as soon as he has the food item, he's gone, like within an instant. And then like if I walk into the room, and I just go start walking by the tank, he's gone. So, but my other ones, I feel like I was just pretty lucky with them. So they're all just pretty chilled. They all tongue fed right when I got them, and then just working with them for the past couple of months, they are starting to walk out on me and jump out on me. So
the relationship that you as well as Sky have with your peach rose makes me very, very jealous. Don't get me wrong, when Toad is out, she's a sweetheart. Like, great. Toad in the Viv is a completely different story. And because I don't believe in going in there and taking them out, even though I know she's going to be super social, I never get to interact with her. So it's like, thank you for stopping in, Mr. Fry's Reptiles. Everyone go and check him out for some sick Bearded Dragon in the Wild content. But yeah, so I find it because Toad, I've had Toad now for a bit over a year, and she's only just started tongue feeding for me, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why does she not love me? Like, I just don't. I know every animal's an individual, and could be because she's female as well. And females tend to be a bit more recluse. But I just don't understand why she's so defensive in the Viv, but then when she's out, she's like my best friend, and that whole dynamic confuses me. So what do you think it is about your? I know you say you got lucky, but did you set any of them up differently, or were they all set up the same and they've all blossomed into their own thing?
so when I got I got a trio to begin with. So I got them and I set them up all together right away in a 4x2x2. And the two, which I believe, honestly, I don't know if I thought that they were both females, but I was just looking at the one the other day and she might be a he. So I don't know. But so I had the trio. They were doing good for a few months, but then during feeding time, they actually started going after each other. So I had to quickly separate them. So I got a tent and I kind of just copied Sky's idea, honestly, with the tents. So I got the tents and I just separated them, and then I was just feeding them separately and just working with them all the time, and now they're jumping on me.
Yes, I'm pretty jealous. I can't lie. Is the plan for you then to try and raise them up and breed them? Is that the plan?
Hopefully, yeah. I'd like to breed them, but I'm not like. I mean, that is the goal, definitely, to breed them. That's why I got 4. But if it doesn't happen, I guess it doesn't happen.
What was it about the Jobiensis that? So when did you get your first one? Sorry, your first trio. Sorry.
It was like 7 months ago.
And what was it about them that you were like, yeah, this is the species for me?
It's just the colors of them, the size of them, I guess, as well. Not too big, but not too small. And then also just like where they come from. They're a tropical species. I like the tropical species. And then yeah, I guess I just like the Indicus complex, and the peach rose were my favorite ones.
It's a labor of love. It's a labor of love.
Yes.
The worst complex to go for, but also the best.
Definitely.
And how have you been finding them? Because you've got a mixed bag. You've got a couple that jump on you. You've got one that's a twat. What?
Yeah. So I mean, I love them.
Is there anything that's you weren't prepared for? Something that you didn't read online, you couldn't find online, that you figured out since keeping them?
Not really, honestly. I mean, there's not too much information online about them, honestly, at all. So, but other than that, I don't know. I feel like they're pretty normal, I guess. Other than super high temperatures and then high humidity, that's kind of hard to keep together. Constantly battling that. And then I did have them in the same room as the garter snakes for a little bit, but then I was able to separate the rooms, and so it definitely allows me to keep them at a higher temperature and higher humidity now.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. A lot of people put them at like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, but peach throats want it at like 130, 140 on a basking spot. Like they want it hot. Which you wouldn't assume because they're such a soft-skinned animal in comparison to like roughnecks or ackies or something like that, where you'd expect these high, or even like a savanna monitor, you expect these high temperatures. They feel so soft-skinned, and they've got like weird scalation. They're almost smooth in a way. They don't have like the big thick scales. Yeah, they're a weird. Like even the mangrove, even mango, she's got clear scales. You can see the scalation, whereas peach throats almost seem like a sheen, like an oil slick, and then they just have flecks. And they're, I sent a video into one of my group chats the other day, and there's a really good video under some good light of Toad's tail, and just a bright, vibrant blue in the tail and the blue flecks in the hands. They're a very, very unique species, and I'm kind of sad I didn't go balls to the wall for them than I did mangroves, but they're also quite a bit bigger than the Solomon Island mangroves. They can push nearly 5 foot sometimes for males.
Yeah.
And it's hard to try and house that. Is that something you're worried about as they grow, or were you pretty prepared as you went into it?
No, I do have the space for when they eventually get bigger. Yeah, so they're dedicated to my whole room. It's dedicated just to them. So they're gonna be it's like 8-foot ceilings. And I think they're gonna be I think it's like 5 foot wide and 5 feet deep. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, that's a good size. I don't know exactly what I'm going for Toad yet. It's going to be at least a 6 long, 6 tall, 4 deep at least. If I end up with another one, I probably will build like an 8 long, 4 or 5 deep, 8 tall, and then have like a divider in the middle that I can just try and shut off and try and just keep them together all year round. There was a guy in the UK apparently that was keeping a peach throat with a Dorianus. Like they were just living together and like in harmony. So I think the peach throats are a bit more, I won't say social, but I think they're a bit more tolerant of company than other Indicus complex, which is quite handy when it comes to breeding. How old roughly are your ones?
Honestly, I can't really say. So I know I think they were all they were all kept in captivity for a few months before I got them. And I've had them for 7 months, so they're probably
around
maybe a couple years.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
they're big. Yeah. Do you know what's really?
No, a couple of them are small, but the one that I just got, I think, is a little bit older because she's a bit bigger.
In America, can you get imports that come in? How can I word this? Here in the UK, an import can really only be a baby, pretty much. If a peach throat comes in on an import, it's pretty much guaranteed to be a baby. In America, can you get imports of like animals that are like a foot long? Or they only come in as babies?
I feel like maybe. Honestly, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
yeah.
Here in the UK,
so I just went to a show in Tinley Park. And they had a few peach throats there, but they were like tiny. Like I didn't even know that the babies could be that small. It was like, holy crap. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're what surprised me, don't get me wrong, I don't feed Toad loads, but they're quite slow growing. So when I got Toad, she was probably the size of my hand. She was like the whole thing just fit in my hand. She was
Oh, okay.
tiny. She has grown
Tail
loads. So
too or no?
yeah. She's
Oh, okay.
tight, like tiny. Like
Yeah.
I bet you
That's yeah.
if her head was on the top of my finger, I bet you her tail would be like here.
Oh yeah, that's
Like
small. That's tiny.
yeah, she
Yeah.
was tiny, like tiny. There is a video I think on YouTube, and she's and really skinny too, like really skinny. And that was June or July last year. So I've had her now 14, 15, 16 months, and she probably was a couple of months old when she came in. So she's coming close to 2 years old now. But she's only like 20 inches total length now.
Yeah. So I found you from your Toad video when you got
Okay.
her
On
or him?
YouTube.
Right, her.
I think it's her. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I spoke to what's his name? The reptile shop in Canada. Oh god, his name's slipping me. Cody Joe. And he's bred mangroves, he's bred quince monitors, and he has peach throats. And I spoke to him, he said it's pretty obvious from like 18 months old, males have big hemipenal bulges on peach throats.
Okay.
So if it doesn't have a big hemipenal bulge, when I say big, for a monitor, big, like a tree monitor kind of bulge. So
yeah,
not easy to tell, but definitely there at the same time. And Toad has nothing. Like she's completely concave. And she's nearly 2. So I imagine she is a girl. And also, it's not factual, but female monitors tend to have bigger eye to head shape ratio. That's just like a wives' tale thing. But if the eye is really big in comparison to the shape of the face, might be a female.
Yeah, what I've been going off of is it was mostly monitor mad.
Yeah, over here, guy called Alan Woods over here. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, he sent me a picture of a male and a female, like the face shape. Like the males have a lot longer, skinnier, narrow heads, and the females were just a little bit more blunter. So that's kind of what I've been going off of.
See, I'll be honest.
Looked at my one the other day, and I was looking at her, and I was looking at her tail, and it looked like she started to get some hemipene bulge there. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I'll be honest. Nothing against Alan, and if you're listening to this, Alan, I love you, but I think he's wrong there. His female had a very weird shaped head. That's not indicative to Jobiensis. He just had a weird shaped female.
Okay.
And I've spoken to a lot of people, and they've all said the same. So, not saying don't trust him at all.
Right.
And I'm not saying.
And honestly, he was the only person I've really talked to about it. So.
Yeah, I've spoken to a few people, and normally most monitors, the males have the shorter, rounder, bulkier heads, and the females have the longer, pointier heads. And in the Indicus complex, it's exactly the same. And in the Indicus complex, it's harder to tell. There's very subtle differences, but Alan's pair were like night and day different.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not common.
Okay.
She just had a weird head. And it was easy to tell them apart because she had the weird head.
Right. Yeah. Interesting.
And I think he got her into vitellogenesis, and I think he got her to cycle. I don't think he ever saw eggs, so I don't know, and I could be wrong. So someone please feel free to correct me. I don't think he ever saw eggs for a 100% confirmed female, because I had people tell me Mango was a girl, and I had people tell me Mango was a boy, and then one day I got eggs, and I was like, okay, she's definitely a girl.
Yeah.
So my advice is the hemipenal bulge doesn't lie. So if it has a bulge, it's a boy. Because females don't get bulges. No matter how fat they get, they don't get the bulges. So the head, I wouldn't go on. I would go on longer. He told me Toad was a boy from the day I got her, and she was this big. He was like, no, the head's too rounded. I was like, Alan, it's going to change. He was like, no, the head's too rounded. And I was like, no, it will change. And it did. And she's got a long, pointy head now. And I'm 90% sure she's a girl. Until she has eggs, I won't say she's a girl. Or until I see a hemipene, I won't say she's a boy. But I'm pretty sure she's a girl. But yeah, feel free. Like, if you ever get pictures and videos, feel free to just send them over, man. I'm not an expert, but I'll see what I can do sex wise, because I've spoken to a few people on them. Like I say, Cody Joe, he's got a few. He's a super nice guy to talk to. I messaged him. It's the Reptile Shop on Instagram. I want to get him on here, actually. I need to message him. But he's bred and hatched mangroves in Canada. He's bred and hatched quince monitors in Canada. He's got a YouTube channel. He's unboxed some tricolor monitors recently. He's got some really cool stuff. And he was really, really helpful with me. I sent him loads of pictures and videos of Toad. And this was ages ago as well, like a year ago. He's like, oh, I think that's a female. That's probably a female. It looks like a female. I haven't sent him any most recent pictures, but she's continued to grow and no hemipenal bulge. So I'd be confident she's a female.
Right on.
Yeah, so like I say, feel free to send me pictures and videos. And I might just be able to, I'll be honest, I'll be like, I have no clue.
Okay.
I'll be like,
yeah. So when I was looking at my one, I actually took a video at the same time. So I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, and like I say, I think it's easier when you've got multiple. Like, I just have Toad, and I don't have any other. There's not many peach throats in the country, so it's really hard for me to compare. But I think Alan had 3 peach throats, so he was probably be able to go, yeah, these ones look a pair, and then kept the pair, and then he moved on, which I think was a male that he moved on. I am potentially going to get a boyfriend for Toad. I haven't decided if I want to or not, but if the opportunity arises, I feel like to myself I'd be an idiot if I didn't take it. As long as I have the space for said animal of said size. Ideally a baby. I don't know if there's any babies coming in anytime soon, but if a baby peach throat comes up, then I think I'd be an idiot not to take it. Because I do prefer them to.
Yeah, it'd be dope to see you get more peaches.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. There may or may not be things. BH, whereabouts? I think you're Europe. Whereabouts? Scandinavian. Okay. Peach throats are here. Yeah, I've heard that there's a couple of imports coming into the UK. So fingers crossed. Let's pray. We don't know what's on the imports, but fingers crossed. Let's pray. So is there any other monitors? Because obviously you got the Jobiensis. Was there any other monitors that you were tempted to go for first, or was it just the peach throats that you were like, nah, I want the peach throats?
I did look at mangroves a little bit, and I did look at the blue tails a little bit, but the peach throats, those are what I really wanted. And then there are a couple of the other, like the small species, like Gilleni are super cool. Kimberleys are super cool. Pilbaras, I really like all those. So I may or may not eventually get into those. If I get into any of the tree monitors, it'll probably be the black. Those are just fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably about it for monitors.
I've already named my black trees that I don't have. I'm gonna have a male called Reaper and a female called Raven. Yeah. Well, eventually, I've coined it. No one steal my goddamn names. Reaper, and Raven. When I eventually get my pair. What do you think of Rudicolous, the old roughneck monitors?
So I almost did get into Rudicolous before the peach throats, but then I found peach throats and those took over. So
the peach throat is I've had a couple of people come over, and I have quite a few monitors, and it's always, oh, this is cool, and the one that gets everybody by surprise is Toad, and they're like, oh wow, she is nice. Like,
yeah.
There's something about them that just has that allure of like, this is like, because they're almost, I don't know how to explain it. They're almost, like I say, they're more sleek. They're more they blend in. They just look like a not like a, I don't know, like I said, I don't explain it. They're not clunky. They're just like a nice sports car. They just float.
Yeah,
they're in proportion.
That's a good way to describe it.
They just look nice, and the colors as well. Like Toad's, her ocelot are like so yellow. It's so hard to like get it on camera, but she's so yellow, and her tail is so blue. It's crazy.
Yeah, so my 3, they are a Jayapura locale, and the 2, BB and Saphira, those 2 have super nice peach throats, super yellow ocelli, and bright blue tails. And then my 3rd one that hates me, his name is Vermithor. He's got like this. He doesn't really have like the black bars going across the back like the other 2 do. But he kind of does. But his pattern is kind of like more just like, I don't even know how to explain it, just like all over the place, like cryptic. And then he also has like more of like a Turkish turquoise, like green kind of color to him as well. It's pretty crazy, but I can't ever get him to stay out long enough to record him. So it's hard to get him. But my 4th one that I just got, I've only had her for a month. And she is a West Papa locale, I was told. And she is like almost all black, but still has the peach throat. And like she still has the yellow ocelli, but hers are more like they're spotted. They're like spotted out, I guess.
You sure
is how
she's
I
not a
would describe it.
Batanza? The Batanza ones are black. Apparently mine's a Batanza, but Toad's quite dark.
I was
but then just
I
has
was told
spots.
West Papa. That's what the person told me.
I'll be honest, I have no clue on localities. All I know is the darkest locality apparently are the Wago Island or Batanza. Apparently.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I'm not sure. I was just told West Papa. That's all.
Yeah, I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified on it. They also as well, just completely going back a gear. What was the name of the one that was not very nice again?
His name is Vermithor.
Vermithor with a V.
Yeah.
Where's that from? That's a very unique name.
I got that from House of the Dragon.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, that's what the show's called. Yeah.
I've seen House of the Dragons as in the Game of Thrones. Next book. Yeah, I've seen. Love Game of Thrones. Fucking love Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I just haven't watched House of Dragons yet. I just haven't had time. But is that one of the dragons on there? Is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so I gave. I don't want to like spoil too much, but like I gave him his name because he kind of looked like him a little bit.
So. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Michael's got his Aki's are named after is it Syrax and Arax or something like that?
Yeah, it's Syrax. And then there's Caraxes.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's Caraxes.
Okay.
But he's got his Aki's are named after House of Dragons. I
need to get around to watching that. If it's a red Aki, it's probably Caraxes. Yeah.
They're both yellows as a pair, but yeah, he has. I need to watch it. But yeah, I love stuff. I like the. I'm sad that the Henry Cavill's leaving The Witcher now because I don't know if I can be loyal to it anymore.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I started watching that, but I was like, if he's not going to be in it, then I don't know if I want to continue. So
this is what me and Fee said because I got Fee into The Witcher. I was like, just watching the 3rd season, and she was like, "But how are we going to watch the 4th season?" I was like, "I don't know, but we need to watch it for him." But yeah, I'm into. But I haven't watched House of Dragons yet. But I was like, yeah, that's got to be a dragon name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
pretty good. It's pretty good. You should watch it.
I just need to find time. There's so much on my list, man. Like, it's not an excuse. I just don't have time. But I want to watch House of Dragons. I haven't watched Chernobyl yet on HBO. I really want to watch
I've heard that's good. I need to watch that too.
Yeah, I've heard it's sick. I want to watch The Last of Us. I haven't watched that yet.
That's really good.
Yeah, I've been told I want to watch that. There's obviously the new David Attenborough for the people that bullied me earlier. Planet Earth 3, and then there's the new Morgan Freeman dinosaur thing on Netflix soon. So I want to watch that. There's just so much. There's a couple of horror films out, like new Insidious, new Conjuring, the new Nun. Like I haven't had a chance to sit down. There's so much, and I need to watch Lord of the Rings as well on Prime. I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, there's a couple. I think there's a couple Marvel shows that are coming out that I haven't watched yet. So I need to watch those too.
Yeah, I need to get into it. I feel like I need something called Geralt now, though. So maybe if I get a boyfriend for Toad, I don't know. I feel like it needs to be called like Senor Frog or Toadette or something. But anyway, yeah, feel like I need something called Geralt, and I've kind of digressed. I forgot what we were talking about. We're talking about peach rates.
Yep.
Is the plan to keep regardless of the sex ratios? Because like for me, I got the mangroves, not to keep all six, just to get my sex ratios. Is the plan to keep all four? Are they your babies? Are they staying
Yeah.
regardless of
Yeah.
sexes?
All
Yeah.
four. Yeah. I believe. Unless it
Fingers
ends up
crossed.
being like, it's like all males or something, then I want to change it up.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure the one that I just got, the importer, they said that they believe it's a female, and looking at her, it doesn't look like she has a bulge, so I believe she's a female as well. And then I believe I have a male, but the other two, I mean, I love them as well, so I'll probably just keep.
She's on board. Geralt the Garter.
Nice. Yes,
We
that
got
sounds
her,
good.
boys. There we go. The White
Perfect.
Wolf. We'll have to get an albino and call him Geralt. Oh, God's sake, we've digressed again. You don't have to tell me exact prices, but roughly how much a peach throat's running over there in America. You don't have to say what you pay, but just like a rough price range, like what peach throats are.
I'd say I've seen them from 300 at the low mark to like 700 at the high mark.
Because you guys have got the are they called like sunbursts or sun something, like the really
I haven't
orange
seen
ones?
those, but there was a Wago Island one that was for like, I think it still might be up there, but it's like been $700 or something like that.
Mad. Also, why not spinulosis?
Spinulosis.
Are you
What's that again?
familiar?
I'm not.
You can't Google. Let me Google it because you go on your phone.
Yeah,
So
I don't want to.
spinulosis is the Solomon Island
feel like I've
spiny
heard.
neck roughneck monitor. We can't get them over here. Not yet, anyway. They are almost like a mangrove croc monitor indicus complex. I think Ryan McVeigh over there works with them.
Okay, I actually just met him.
Oh, nice.
Okay, yeah, that's dope. I might have seen that before. Yeah, dope.
They got spiky necks, like, well, they are literally they're related to the rudicolis, but they are like, it's really hard to explain, but they're terrible quality through my camera, but they're like little tiny. Let me put myself on full screen, see if that makes it better. There you go.
Okay, I have seen those. Yeah, those are dope.
Yeah. So every time I have an American on that's on about monitors, I'm like, why not spinulosis? Purely because I can't get them and I would kill for them. So yeah, why not spinulosis?
Honestly, because I don't know nothing about them.
No, that's fair. The problem is no one does, because not many people keep them, and then people that do keep them don't post about them. So then it doesn't really get out there.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Yeah, so yeah, well, that was that. This is my fault because I've done my tangent of talking about Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, and the thingy, and this is why I said to you I don't script it, but this is probably why I should script it, because then I forget about what we're talking about and where we go with things. Have you got like a game plan with the peach throats in regards to breeding? Because obviously Mike Stefani's done it. There's a guy, I forget his name, but he's just had eggs over there in the States. Have you got like
Of peach throats.
Say again, sorry?
Of peach throats.
Oh
wow, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I think it's underground knowledge, if I'm honest.
Oh, okay.
I don't. Oh no, maybe it was on Facebook. It definitely was. It's definitely happened. I can guarantee you that. So maybe I shouldn't name him. But there is a guy in the States that has a clutch of peach throats, like 100% does.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Sorry if you don't want to be known, but I have a feeling it's on Facebook because I remember commenting on it. But I know about it for other methods. But anyway, but have you got a game plan when it comes to breeding them? Because there's not a lot on them, or have you not really? thought about it.
So I just met Mike Stefani as well. So I talked to him a little bit, and he gave me a couple pointers. But he just said like when the time comes, reach out to him, like message
Okay.
him and person help. But nah, right now the game plan is just raise him up. Hopefully tame him out a little bit, and then once they get to breeding age, I'll try to put them together. Hope that they are compatible, and go from there.
I need to reach out to Mike and get him on here.
That'd be dope.
Never spoken to him. Nothing but love. Just never spoken to him.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
seems like a really awesome guy. Yeah.
Yeah, everything I've seen of him, he seems great. I do need to reach out to him and be like, hey, would you like? Because I know he's done a few podcasts, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind coming on.
And I think he does a lot of Instagram stuff. So
yeah, he does lives a lot. I tuned
Yeah.
into a few of his lives. We follow each other. We've just never spoken. But yeah, where I want to try and go with like Mango, I kind of had the cheat code because I had the female, and I learned her so well, and I learned all of her cycles. And then I'm like, okay, I know exactly when she's cycling now. So when I get the male, I know when to put him in. Because I think a lot of the problem with the Indicus complex is people don't know when they're cycling and then put them in at the wrong time. And then they end up getting into an altercation. But I think Peachthroats Mike kept his pair together, I believe.
He did, yeah.
In like an 8x6x4 or something like that.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah, and they did quite well. And I think they were like 4 foot. I think they were bigger lizards.
Yeah, actually, I think he said when they started laying eggs that the female was not that big.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I'll pick his brains on it. He what part? Do you know what part of America he's in?
I do not.
Is it close
honestly.
or far to you? Yeah, I was gonna say you got over him.
I don't know. I met him at Tinley, the expo that I went to.
He's his Mertens enclosure is
Oh my god, his Mertens are gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Imagine garter snakes in there. Like that whole setup just with some garter snakes. Imagine that.
That'd be crazy.
That would be mad.
But Mertens are really cool. That'd be awesome to get into as well. But I love the striations on their face, like the false teeth. Those are dope.
And they're speckly. They almost look like peachthroat scalation. They're speckly, but they have like almost. Maybe it's a water thing. Maybe they're more streamlined, more sleek, like a swimmer. You have to shave all your body hair off, so you're more cut through the water. Yeah, because they're almost. I'm thinking about Matt's not here. I'm trying to think about the Mitchellite he's got. Trying to think if they have the same non-scalation side patterns. Hello Pembo Exotics, and also hello Liam. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. If there's any questions, anyone, just drop them in the chat now. Also, Fee earlier said that she liked your mug. I don't know, you can't see the chat, but she said that she likes your mug. Yeah, crap. Yeah, she's gonna get one for work.
Good old bean water.
Bean water.
Yeah, coffee.
Oh, I wasn't familiar. I don't drink coffee, so that's probably why I didn't get it. Nah. 1, can't stand the taste. 2, caffeine puts me to sleep. So
yeah. No, I think caffeine does the same thing to me, but I still like coffee. So
I don't think you've got any. But what's your opinion on house snakes?
That's another thing that I thought about getting into, but I just probably won't. But they are really cool. I like all their morphs and stuff. I know Reach Out Reptiles works with those a lot. They're super cool. Yeah, I guess that's all I got to say about those. They're awesome. They're cool.
I used to have an albino house snake, and it had the craziest feeding response. So that thing would go psycho for food. Yeah, the redbacks. I think what I was on about. I think they're the sun. I'll have a Google now.
Yeah, I think it's sunburst.
Sunburst. Yeah. So
yeah,
let me have a look. Sunburst peach throat. What about Timors or peacock monitors? You into those?
Yeah, those are cool. The peacock monitors, yeah, those are dope.
They're quite expensive over there, I think.
Yes. I can't say how much I've seen them for though.
No. Google's not coming up any good, guys. Just Googling peach throats, I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, I have one. I'm like, oh, I need some more. Like, they're different level. They're different. Here's one. This is a random question. It happens to me a lot. Every time I go to a zoo and I see a green tree monitor, for example, and it just happened again then with peach throats. And I'm in awe of these green trees. And I'm like, oh my god, these animals are so amazing. I love them so much. And I completely forget that I own them. Do you like ever get that when you like, I don't know, catch a garter snake or see a garter snake or see peach throats, or is that just a me thing?
Sometimes like for the garter snakes, like I'll be out catching them, I'll just get lost in catching them and stuff. And I'll be like, oh snap, like I have 20 of these at home chilling.
Yeah. It's it is mad. I sometimes forget kind of how, that's why I try and make posts about like gratitude and stuff, because I sometimes forget how lucky that I am, because it just becomes your normal day to day. Come down, play with the garter snakes, like come down, play with the tree monitors, and you almost take it for granted. My peach rate was 450. It was 50 more for the other ones because it was from the other side of the island. Lol. Emerald tree monitors. ADHD brain at the finest. If you're on about caffeine putting me to sleep, yes. If not, I forgot what you were talking about, which is also ADHD brain to the finest. Gratitude. Yeah. Do you guys have? I mean, you obviously do have Big Mouth. Do you have Big Mouth on Netflix?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Big Mouth is it's made by an American, so it must be in America, but it's basically a Netflix show with kids, an animated show of kids coming of age, and it's like it's almost like South Park-esque. It's like sexual and ironic and funny and shit. And they have this toad that gets like people high on gratitude, and it's called the Gratitoad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I don't watch too much Netflix.
No.
Honestly, I watch mainly YouTube. Honestly, that's my TV.
Yeah, we don't even have so people in the UK would understand, but so over here we have like or I guess it's called like cable or satellite TV in America. So obviously in the UK you can have like just your cable or your satellite TV. We have neither. We just don't have live TV in our house because we just don't watch it, so we don't have it.
Yeah.
And
I only have internet.
Yeah, same. We just watch TV, YouTube, and if we want to watch something, we'll watch it. We have to pay for. I don't know if it's the same in America, but we have TV license over here, so you have to pay to watch TV. So we have a license, so we can watch stuff live or on catch up. But yeah, I watch just YouTube, and then I try and catch like the HBO shows when I can, but I just haven't had time. The Chernobyl apparently is really, really good, but again, I haven't had a chance to watch it.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good, but I haven't watched it. So.
Whiskey. On the peach roast, then, what's your diet and regiments for them? What kind of routine are you scheduled in with the Jobienses?
So I feed them quite a bit of chicks.
Mm-hmm.
Then I also feed the silver sides. I also feed some occasional mice, but it's mainly the chicks and the silver sides. And I wanna get more like shrimp and crustaceans into their diet, but for me it's just really hard to find that around where I'm at. So chicks is where it's been. I also feed a lot of dubia roaches. I got a dubia roach colony going. I've fed locusts or the grasshoppers. I fed those. I know Kai Pan, he breeds those. So that's where I get those from. And that's about it.
I need to get.
I do supplement sometimes. Like I have a multivitamin supplement that I'll do, and then I also just have a calcium one that I'll do occasionally. but
Yeah.
that's not really often.
Yeah, I need to get better at supplementation because apparently you can't overdose on calcium. If you're using UVB, you shouldn't supplement D3. Just do calcium and then just do like a multivitamin. Now
Right?
and
Yeah,
then.
I don't think mine have D3 in it. It's just straight
No.
calcium.
Yeah, same as mine. To be honest, I'm terrible at supplementation. I need to get better. I have 2 protein shakers with different calciums, or one's a multivitamin, one's a calcium powder, so I can put my bugs in the protein shaker, shake it, and then obviously it keeps because it's airtight. I just come in a rush and I'm like, right, feed, and then done.
Yeah.
What kind of what's your? Are you on like a misting system, or do you hand mist? What's your spraying regimen?
I hand mist. So I mist probably I do like a good mist like once a week, but then I'll go in there and I'll do like a quick mist. Probably at least once a day in the morning. Every morning I'll go in there and spray. And then midday I'll probably go in there, spray again, and then that's about it. I want to get them on like a Mist King system. That would probably help. But honestly, I kind of like just going in there and hand misting. It also gives me the interaction. Like the other day, it was crazy. The first time I had it was my one peach throat Saphira. I was just misting her enclosure, and then she walks up the cork bark to me, and I put my hand out, and then she just walks right on me.
Mate.
First time ever, as I didn't have my phone on me to record it. But it was just like, it was mind blowing, and I was just like, yeah, that was the first time I've had any of them just crawl out on me for nothing. She just came out, tongue flicked a few times, was like, okay, I'm good, went back in.
Mate, do yours have like the longest tongue in the world? The tongue just seems stupidly long.
They do have super long tongues, yeah.
Because when Toad's out, she so I have mangroves, I have tree monitors, I have Akis, I have Gillenite, I've had Tristus, I've had Dorianus, I've had a lot of monitors, and they all just have the tongue flick. The only other animal I've seen to have a tongue flick like that long is like a black throat monitor, because they flick their tongue right out. Toad's comes down out of her mouth. She's like Venom. It like comes right down and then like back up. And I'm like, how? Like, I just don't understand how her tongue is like so long. It just comes and it curls right up. It's the most amazing thing to see. Yeah, it's mad. Like in comparison to the other ones, because they have shorter.
Yeah, I haven't had other monitors to really compare, I guess. So
yeah,
but I guess yeah, they do have pretty long tongues.
Yeah, I've found that in comparison, because when my monitors are flicking their tongues, I don't go, "Oh, you're flicking your tongue." When Toad's flicking her tongue, I'm like, "Fucking hell, you're flicking your tongue," so you can't sort of miss it. Localities of peach throats. In my knowledge, my very lack of knowledge, yes, they are different sizes. They range between 2.5 foot to 4 foot for females, and between 3 foot to 5 foot for males. What's what? Couldn't tell you. And apparently, there's not enough necessarily done on it, but apparently Jobiensis are their own species complex, which means that if you cross localities, there's a chance the offspring will not be sexually viable, because technically they're different species. But there's not enough on that to know if it is right or not. But that's what I've been told.
I guess I'll figure that out.
Well, yeah, in the long run, because like I know Kai, he's bred mangrove different localities to different localities and bred them back and stuff. Apparently, Jobiensis are a species complex. Apparently, so 2 different locality forms could be 2 different subspecies or 2 different species, and there just hasn't been enough taxonomy done on them to actually distinguish them. Like Varanus indicus in Australia is now Varanus chlorostigma, and like Timorensis and Affenbergi, the peacocks and the Timors, they used to be different. They used to be the same. They're different. spinulosis used to be indicus, and now it's different. So they reckon that jobiensis should be reclassified, like through different species. But I don't know enough on that level to actually say if it is true or not. But yeah,
I don't either,
I'm gonna have
but I guess we'll see if I try to breed my two localities together.
I think you'd get eggs, and I think you'd get viable offspring, but I just don't
Right.
know if that offspring is then, because there's certain species of snake
Infertile,
that can breed. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
can't think of the snake species off the top of my head, but I know there are certain species of snake that can breed, have babies, but then the babies are infertile.
Yeah. So, well, actually, I know you can breed blood pythons and ball pythons together, and I think that's it's called the super balls, I think. But I believe those are still actually you can actually still breed those back and get babies.
That's pretty
So they're
weird.
still fertile. Yeah.
Yeah,
So there was actually there was one that at Tinley that I saw that was pretty dope.
that's pretty mad. What's your what's your opinion on stuff like that?
On hybrids, so
Yeah.
well, so like I got my garter snakes, so those are like, so I don't want to breed like a Sertalis to like my Mexican species, or I also don't want to breed Sertalis to uh, like the checkered garter snake. I can't remember what that scientific name is.
Yeah.
But like an eastern to a checkered, I don't want to do that. But like a blood python and a ball python, something that's like completely different, but can still make something. I think that's kind of cool, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've also seen I seen Nerd. He made the berm ball, a
Mhm.
Burmese python and a ball python.
Yeah.
I thought that's pretty cool. Um, but I'm not sure if those. I think those are probably infertile. Um, but I think it's cool. Would I do it? I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah. Also, if you want to start a fight between biologists, ask them to find what a species is. I'm not even going to get into that. On the sense of hybrids, I could go about that for ages. On the sense of hybrids, I think because one side of my brain is like we shouldn't be hybridizing. The other side of my brain is like, why not? We're trying to domesticate animals. Dogs are just a mash of like hybridized wolves to become chihuahuas, labradors, greyhounds. So it's no different. I think as long as we're breeding animals, me and Michael actually have spoken on this quite a lot, and he has great opinions on it. As long as we're not breeding animals that have two completely environmental different niches, for example, Australian frilled dragons to Indonesian frilled dragons, because then that offspring doesn't know genetically where it fits, because it doesn't know if it wants to be hot, if it wants to be humid. Like it doesn't have its niche because it's a combination of two different environments. I guess a Burmese python and a ball python could probably coexist in the same environment. But then it's like if you try to breed the Burm ball back to something, if it ends up having bigger eggs and then the body can't deal with it because of the Burmese genetics, and there's so many catalysts that could be detrimental to the animal that it scares me. But how do we get to Labradors of snakes without playing like Dr. Frank? Well, yeah, Dr. Frankenstein. You know, it's hard. It's hard to get to that level of domestication without playing around a little bit. So I don't know where I personally sit on it, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I think that's like also why you gotta like I think make sure that like the female would be like the Burmese. The male would be the ball python for the eggs. But then I guess when you get to the offspring, I guess what if it's a small body snake that has big eggs?
Yeah.
I guess I see what you're saying there. So
Apparently that happens with Ackies. Apparently when you cross reds to yellows, red Ackies produce bigger eggs than yellows on average. And if the offspring carries more size to the yellow, but then also has the egg size of the reds, they can become egg bound more often. Oh, can you hear me? Did I not mute my mic for that?
yeah,
Oh,
no,
well.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah,
Yeah. I think Fee was saying gross that I was blowing my nose. Don't care, I'm ill. Deal with it. Yeah, so I think, like I say, I think there's a lot of variables that could cause detriment, but obviously you don't know, like the scaleless ball python, like we're all trying to chase this like domesticated unnatural animal, and it turns out like it's deadly. No one knows that until you do it. And I think once you get to a place of, for example, spider ball pythons, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this animal shouldn't really be a thing. It's not viable. Let's never do it again. But then if people that keep doing it is when I have the issue. You're like, you do something, okay, God, it doesn't work. Jesus Christ, post about it. No one do this. It doesn't work. I'm cool with that. We don't know until we know. But it's when we keep doing something to the animal's detriment for selfish gain is when I'm a bit like, nah, that's where my line is. Yeah.
Spiders, like the spider gene and stuff like that, and I think there's a couple carpet python morphs that also have
Jags,
like
I
a head
think.
wobble.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think there's a boa morph. The
I don't
jungle,
know.
I think. I think it's the
Yeah, I
jungle.
don't know.
That also creates a head wobble. So like that stuff I don't agree with. There's a few leopard gecko morphs as well that also like have there's a couple that have like a cancer and like I think it might be like eclipse or something. Maybe not. But yeah, no, those I definitely don't agree with.
Do you think there's much of a market for garter snake? I'm just gonna say garter snake hybrids rather than just garter snake / hybrids.
Right. Garter snake hybrids, definitely not, because that is very frowned upon in the garter snake community.
Okay.
But for garter snakes, I definitely feel that there's a pretty decent market. So like I put my one litter up and within a couple months, like it was a litter of 20, and within a couple months they were all sold. I don't know.
Nice.
Well, I guess I don't know if that's a good time or not. Maybe.
I'm gonna go on our Craigslist.
But it's like you go on Morph Market and there's only a couple like hundred maybe garter snakes at a time, like 100 garter snakes at a time. And I've seen it all the way down to like 8. So it's like there's like not a lot of people working with them. So I guess that creates like it's easier to sell them. Unless it's like ball pythons, there's thousands of ball pythons, you know.
Yeah, you're one in a few rather than one in a million. So the garter snake I used to have back in the day was the Santa Cruz garter snake.
Okay. Yes. Dope.
So for people that wondering, let me go myself on full screen. That blurry puppy. Jesus Christ, camera, sort your life out. Never mind. Fuck's sake. I hate my life. No. Okay, that's kind of it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that is the garter snake that back in the day I used to have. And the California red sides here in the UK are currently, I've just found some for £85. That's pretty good. So,
oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, so there's quite a few for sale. Lake Chapalta,
Chippewa.
yeah, that one too.
Yeah.
87.5% San Francisco garter snake. Well, there's a hybrid there already. But that's let me go back on full screen. Oh no, that's not the picture I want. Jesus Christ, that's the picture I want. Look at that. It's blurry, but look at
Okay.
that.
Yeah. That's a San Francisco, probably with a red-sided.
It's not doing the thing, guys. There you go.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, there's quite a few for sale. I need to look for melanistics, but I'll look later because the melanistics are where it's at. I think I'm gonna get some. I think I might get some garter snakes for my Christmas present. Might get some garter snakes. Oh, anyway, where are we at with things, everybody? That snake's nice. Yeah, I remember seeing it in a pet shop. It was like 60, 70 quid years and years and years ago. I was like, oh my god, I need this. I've always been a bit drawn to them, and like I said, I feel like I've done myself an injustice by getting other species of bigger bodied snake because I find it harder to make them look small in a setup, and I like animals to look small in setup. So if I get garter snakes and do like a 4x2x2 for like 4 of them, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, and run with something like that. Just get a pity from the shelter. Oh, okay, they're talking about dogs being pug. But this is the thing when you inbreed stuff, there's always detriment to an animal, and humans kind of become. I think it's a brilliant idea. Tell Paul what we're on about. Hear me out. Just a regular dog. Yeah, if he wants a dog, we'll get a dog. As long as I can get garter snakes, we'll get a dog. Is there a certain species of garter snake? If there's just one species of garter snake you could recommend to somebody, is there one species that stands out for you? The Easterns.
Probably. Yeah, I'd
Mm.
say that they're the most chill.
Mm.
But then again, the plains, I've heard a lot of good things about the plains, and there's a lot of different color morphs in them as well. So I guess if those fit your fancy, go with them.
Mm.
I think they also get a little bit bigger than the Easterns.
I'll stick with small
But
just because it makes my life easier to make it. The thing I struggle with snakes the most is like, let's just take the very simple ball python. Like, it's a 4-foot snake, relatively big bodied, and you put it in a 4x2x2. It, in my opinion, looks big in the enclosure. So the enclosure is like, oh, that's too small. And for me, in my brain, I'm like, oh, that's too small. So I can't keep a ball python in a 4x2x2. I've got to keep it in like a 6x2x2 because in my head it needs bigger. And then I'm like, I don't like it enough to give it a 6x2x2, which is just a savage truth because I could give that to a monitor lizard. And then I'm like, okay, let's sell the snake. And then it's like, so I feel like garters could definitely be something that, because they're inquisitive as well and they'll be out and about. I feel like it's easier to have that relationship with them.
yeah, definitely. And then like even like my blood python, it's like that. I wanna get that into probably. I was thinking a 6x3x3, but it's eventually gonna be 6 feet. And that's just as long as it. So I don't know. I might end up going 8x4x4 or something. I don't know.
It's a lot of space for a snake.
But it is, yeah.
And this is no discredit to snakes. Just in my head, me personally, I'm like, oh, an 8x4x4 for a snake that doesn't move, or to get some ackies. And that's just how my brain. That's how my brain works when I keep snakes. So I'm like, oh, I think I can't see it unless I'm missing chat. I can't see Vivision's comment. But yeah, I'm just. When's the when do you think roughly is going to be? Are you content with what you're keeping now? Are you going to look to get something sooner rather than later, like the tree skinks or something like
that? That's probably not going to be until probably not until like next year ish. For now, I'm content. I don't know, and then I have to go through Brumation this year, make sure everybody's all good with that, and then and then after that, I might get into other stuff.
That's a good point to touch on actually. Not this, but I haven't seen that they've rediscovered an extinct species of alligator. Is it in the Americas? Because I know you got the Chinese, then obviously the American. I don't know about the third. Brumation. 1, is it necessary? And 2, how do you go about doing it?
It's probably not necessary. I've heard of a lot of people that don't brumate, but for me, I feel like it's a natural process. So I feel like I kind of feel like they need to go through it personally.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I brumate them. And what I do is I have a little wine cooler, and it gets down to I set it at 45 degrees. I put them in Tupperware containers that they can still kind of move around in, and then they also have like water dishes and stuff and that they can soak in, and then I just put them in the wine cooler and they chill out literally for 3 months.
7 degrees Celsius for people in the UK and other parts of the world.
Yep.
So do you? Because I've never brumated anything. Do you just take them off their food for a little bit, and then after you know that they're clean and the room's naturally getting a little bit colder anyway because the weather's getting colder, just into the wine fridge they go?
Basically, yeah. So their last feeding was the 10th, and they'll be off of food until. So what I do is I feed them their last feeding, and then I do 2 weeks with the heat still on to make sure that they fully digest everything and pass everything, and then I'll do another week with the lights off, so it's another cool, so it gets even cooler, and then after that I'll put them into the fridge.
It just sounds like so mad. I know it's how you do it. It just sounds mad, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
It does. Yeah. No, the
into the
first year I
fridge they
did it,
go. Yeah.
I was terrified. The first year I did it, it's just like I'm literally putting a snake into a fridge.
Yeah.
It's frightening at first, but after you do it a couple of times, it's nothing. It's fine.
Do you brumate the babies or just the adults?
I will brumate babies if they decide that they want to go off food. So the babies, I've had babies that will eat all the way through winter, but then I'll have babies that I think that they just go off of the barometric pressure and the temperature dropping, the days getting shorter. So they just naturally go off of food. So those ones, I feel like it's good to brumate them for a month. And then for after brumating them for just a month, pull them out, and then it'll just kickstart them to start eating again. So that's what I do with babies. But for everybody that's like a year old, they get the full 3-month brumation.
So on that, then they come out of brumation. Do you bring them up as your climate starts to come into spring? Is that when you bring them up?
Not necessarily. So last year, I only did 2 months of a brumation, and I brought them up a little bit sooner. I think it was still it was still February. There was still snow on the ground when I brought them up.
Yeah.
So not necessarily.
And then when you bring them up, do you put them in the setup for a week again with no lights, and then, or do you just bring them straight back up?
I just bring them straight back up. Yeah. So it's out in the wild. I've seen them come out from freezing cold temperatures to warm up in there'll be a 60-degree day randomly in December, and they'll come up, they'll warm up real quick, and then they'll go straight back down to brumation for the next few months. So it's I feel like a quick change in temperature is fine for them. So I bring them right from the fridge and just bring them right in, and I pair them up right out of brumation as well. So it's you see the big the breeding balls in Canada. That's where it happens. I'm not sure exactly where, but it's as soon as it starts warming up in Canada, all of the snakes, it's thousands of garter snakes. they'll all just start coming up, and they'll all create a big old ball and start breeding like as soon as spring starts. So that's what I do. I just bring them up and I put my pairings together that I'm going to put together for that year, and then start feeding them right away, and that's it.
I remember watching a documentary that David Attenborough done. It's David Attenborough, right? Come for me. That David Attenborough did. And one of the males cuts, he's like, this one is a male. I'm not going to do the impression, but this one is a male, and it came up late. So it starts to produce this pheromone to like make it seem like a female, or the other males start to try and breed it, which then by just I guess just the energy, the cuddling, the warmth, it warms that male up so he can cheat the system, and then he just turns off his pheromones. And the other males are like, what the fuck? Like, where'd the girl go? And how many litters? Is it just one litter a year?
You can get 2 out of a female, but it's naturally just 1. Yeah.
And are they, I don't really know, are they quite big? Can they be quite big litters, or are they just like 10 babies and that's it?
I've heard that they can get up to like 40.
Fuck.
Yeah. So, but my first litter was 19.
That's good going.
And then I had, but this year, so I had 3 pairings this year. They all locked. I seen them all lock, but for some reason, none of them took. And I only had one female that had a litter, and it was her first year. And she had, it was a few slugs. There was 2 stillborn and just 1 healthy baby. So I guess there's that.
I guess that's the thing with it. I've had clutches of monitor eggs. They all look great, and then 7 of them just decide to like fall off the face of the earth, and only 1 goes the distance. Then you have other times where you have 18 eggs and all 18 hatch. So I think that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to breeding. Yeah,
Just the way it is.
Yeah. I don't know if it's my ADHD brain, or I don't know if I really want Garter snakes. I guess the main question for me personally now, selfishly, how tolerant are they of heat? Because my room, I need to convert it. Sometimes will sit around 30 to 32 degrees in the summer. And our summer will only have like 4 weeks maybe, but it won't be every day, but it'll be like 20 days of hot weather. So about 90 degrees my room will be, the ambient of my room. There'll be obviously, my enclosures tend to sit a bit cooler. My enclosures tend to sit around 82 to 84. Is that going to be too hot without a basking bulb? If I turn the basking bulb off during those hotter days, is that going to be too hot, or is that going to be all right?
Well, I'd say in the summer, for me, it gets probably, I don't know, right now it's 77 degrees in my room. And in the tanks, it's 82 in that one and 80 in the other one for the ambient.
That's that's average of my room. It's just when I have the hot days, my average of my room is probably around 77 to 80 is the average. But when we have a hot day outside, my room will get to like high 80s. As I guess I could put them on my rack, my shelf rack. I could put an extra terror on there because that's in front of my air conditioning. So I guess that would keep it cooler because it'd be right in the face of the air conditioning. So I guess if they don't like it, I could. And I guess if I give them a big water bowl, there's always the option to retreat to the water. I guess.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, in the summers, I say my room probably averages like 80 80 degrees,
Mm.
like maybe highest 85. But and I still have the basking lights on and everything. And I've even
Okay.
seen my basking spots be like 100 and something degrees, and like and they're all still fine. So I feel like they probably do all right.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll let you know next summer if I have barbecue garter snakes or not. Paul will need to get the Mexican ones, yeah, just to tolerate the heat a little bit better. Paul, didn't your guest that went to see the blue trees in the wild mention there were also jobiensis present at almost 30 degrees ambient? Yeah. So what's really, really interesting is my room. Let me convert it for the Americans. My room spiked to like 43 degrees because my AC failed, and it was basically the pipe came out and it was pumping the hot air into my room. So my room got to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, ambient, my entire room. And I got the little ping on my Govee Wi-Fi thermometer, not sponsored. So I rushed home from work to like fix the problem, and everyone was out. Obviously, can't speak for snakes. I had a corn snake at the time actually, and it didn't die, but it was hidden away. All my monitors were just out and about. Like the enclosures were like 36, I think, which is just shy of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 97 degrees Fahrenheit. And yeah, the monitors, I don't recommend it, but the monitors were just out and about cruising. So I think these animals can tolerate, as long as it's not prolonged all day, every day. It's just the odd hot day. Because in the wild, obviously they have retreats, but in the wild, they're going to experience days where it's like hot and then hotter than normal, and they have to retreat. Like I remember over here, we had like a 33-degree day, which for here is fucking hot. And I found our only venomous snake, and it was swimming. And they normally don't reside by water, but obviously because it was so hot, it was like I need to go and cool down. And obviously went and found a lake and just was swimming in the lake. I was like, what? So yeah, these animals have ways to adapt, but I think for me, if I could try to keep them outside, I think that would be better as well. I think I'd get more enjoyment from it, and I think the brumation would be easier because you can just let them do their own thing and go down
Yeah, my
naturally.
peach throats, those are in the room that gets hit by the sun like all day long. So that room naturally is way hotter. It's like
Mm,
it's like 77 degrees in here. It's probably 87 degrees in there.
yeah.
So and then I've walked in there in some of the hot summer days where it was like too hot, like 98 degrees. But I went and I checked on the monitors. They were all under the basking lights, big chilling, like, what's up?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's scary. You're like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
I thought I was gonna have dead lizards, but no, they
Yeah.
were all just under the basking light.
Yeah. I think, if I'm honest, I think a lot of us keep monitors way too cold. Not necessarily the basking, but the ambience. I think they do want that 88 degrees ambient just all the time. And I'm like, no, you don't. You want a nice cool 82 degrees. And
Right?
that's
Yeah,
fine.
like 80,
Yeah.
85.
Yeah. I do think we underestimate what some animals can tolerate. I remember I used to have leaf-tailed geckos, and we had a obviously really hot summer, and my room got to, trying to think of the conversion off the top of my head, 90, 92 degrees, something like that. It was like 80. I'm sorry, it was like 31, 32 degrees, which is, like I say, just shy of 100, between 90 and 100. Anyway, oh my god, oh, they're going to die, they're going to die. And because it was like just a one-off then and there, they're all fine. Again, I'm sure after 4, 5, 6 days prolonged, they'd be like, no, this is too much for like, and they're known to be such a really sensitive species. But then I have had I have had a couple of animals that I've lost due to really hot days. So in an old reptile room. So I guess you can't be too careful, but I do think we worry sometimes a little bit too much. Yeah. Another thing as well is try not to fight your weather, because it's hard. Like, for example, obviously in your house it's going to be warm, but if you get really cold winters, the ambient because your house is becoming more dry because obviously you've got the heating on and stuff like that. You can't fight it. So buying a species that needs to be hot and humid all the time, it's going to be harder to do with the peach rose than the snakes go to sleep. You know, the snakes are going to be a lot easier. So you've got to fight your weather. And for me, trying to keep tree monitors hot and warm and humid, and mangroves and peach throats, but then the Aki's cold and dark for the winter. It's like, oh my god, like we just make it hard for ourselves.
Yeah, for my peach store room, I have 2 humidifiers going all the time. And then in the enclosures, there's like probably like 2 inches of dirt,
Mm.
and then I have 2 inches of moss on top of that to help keep it humid in there,
Mm. Do you find your peach
along with
throats? No,
a big
go.
water dish and then another small water dish as well. So
As I was going to say, do you find that they swim a lot?
not really, honestly. My one that hates me does. I see him, he's always splashing around in the water. But my other 3, not really. And they honestly don't dig that much either.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's just what I've experienced with mine.
I found that. So when Toad was small, she would dig and hide, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And then as she got bigger, she just would hide in cork tubes. And then she got to the point where she didn't really use the water. Then I moved her into a bigger peach throat. I moved her into a bigger enclosure, the 6x3x3, and she was always in the water. And I was like, well, what's changed? Like, nothing's changed. Like, you're just in a bigger enclosure with a bigger water boss, but why wouldn't you use a smaller water boss? And she's gone back to digging now, which is annoying. Don't know why, but she digs now. But then as well, I'll keep the mangroves. Like my baby mangroves were in a fairly simplistic setup. I've just moved them, upgraded them. And their behaviors completely changed. They're completely different. They're acting completely different. And I'm like, well, you have the same stimulus, you have the same enrichments, you just have a bigger enclosure, but now they're doing completely different things. And I'm like, but why did you not do this in this smaller enclosure? Because you could, just on a smaller scale. And I find that really interesting, is that their behaviors completely change without an environmental stimulus change, in the sense of they can still climb, they can still swim, they can still dig. They just choose not to. But then in the new setup, they do. I don't know why, but
Yeah, that's weird. And then so for my chapalas, when I moved them into the polydarium that I just built for them, they've been in there probably a couple weeks now, and they've barely left the water. Like, so they actually live on a lake called Lake Chapala in Mexico, and so they're almost basically like Neurodia, the water snakes, and they really like water. And so it's like I got my one here, and with my Easterns, he's sometimes in the water, sometimes not. But it's like I put my 3 in the paludarium, and they've barely left the water.
yeah, it's mad, isn't it? You think they can know that they can actually, like, you think they know the difference between just splashing about in a tub and then having like a paludarium? Then they must do, otherwise the behaviors wouldn't change.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, maybe just because it's a bigger space, or something.
Yeah, what I find it like, Mango has a pond, like a heated, pumped pond, and then she has a tiny rub. She sleeps in the rub. She has a big pond that's heated, and she just goes in the tiny.
So Vermithor, my male, the one that swims, the monitor, he swims in the big tub, but he'll always poop in his little water dish. So
I mean, that's easy for you, but
it is. It makes it nice.
It's like, what? Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah,
like,
I don't get it.
I don't know why she does it. And I deliberately put like a log in there so she can like lounge on the log. Like, deliberately do it so she can sleep in the water, because I know she wants to sleep in the water because it stays warm because it's heated overnight when it gets cooler. But then she also has a heated nest box that isn't filled to the brim, so she can go in there. She doesn't have to dig. She can just go in there and lay in there. I need to revamp that because I think she's cycling, so I need to go in there and dig it all up and make sure it's good. But she just sleeps in the tiny little 9-liter rub, and she calls herself up in it and crams us. And I'm like, I just don't understand.
Yeah, it's odd.
Is there anything we haven't touched on that you would like to touch on? Or if there's any questions,
any garter snakes, monitors.
If there's any questions, you can say no to this. I'm not going to be offended. But if there's any questions you would like to ask me, or any topics you want to get onto with me, or we're going to start wrapping up, ladies and gentlemen. So if there's any final questions, we're not in an immediate rush, everyone. But if there's any final questions, get them in now, because in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes, we're gonna start wrapping up. Because who knows with me, it could be 5 minutes, it could be an hour and 5 minutes. But yeah, so if there's anything you want to touch on, any topics, any questions, any queries, like I say, if not, it's completely fine.
It's weird that I'm not in the chat. Usually I'm in the chat.
Yeah. Hang on, let me just bring something up and just pretend. Hello, Logan. How are you doing, mate? Thank you for tuning in. What's it like being on the other side?
Oh, it's very different. Very different. Yeah.
You are an avid viewer, and thank you for the support. But what's it like being on the other side?
Different. Honestly, I didn't think I'd ever be right here. So thank you for having me. Yeah.
Mate, it's been good. We've been 2 hours, 26 minutes and 40 seconds we've been talking. So
yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I definitely go longer. I said off air, I want to try to start getting the podcast between 2 and 3 hours. So we're right bang in the middle there. I don't mind going longer, but the problem I have is because I do the podcast and I come off and Fee's like, "How is it?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it was good." Then I get quite excited. I'm quite awake, and it's already 10:30 here at night. So I'm not going to bed now. If we ended this podcast right now, I won't be going to bed until at least midnight, and then I've got to be up at like 6:30 to go to work. So it's like 6.5 hours sleep, but I don't end the podcast right now. So the time just continues going on. And it's like, oh, but no, man, I thought like you'd be a great guest regardless. But then I was like, I wanted to diversify this podcast, and because I just don't think there's enough people. There probably is enough people, but getting people to come on is a completely different story to actually people being out there. I don't think there's enough people to have someone different every single week, just monitors. And I'm interested in all reptiles, not just monitors. So I was like, I want to start diversifying. And obviously, you're a perfect candidate, as it were, with a monitor keeper, as well as obviously super passionate about garter snakes. And I didn't realize you, obviously forgetting the blood python for this instance, I didn't realize that you kept just 2 species, or 2 genuses or whatever. And I always find that super interesting because I'm going. Paul's sister's brain is be chirping. I'm diving a bit more into this philosophy of what it is to become a reptile keeper and what it is to be a reptile keeper. And majority of us have this click and collect mentality of like, we can have it all. And the fact that you have 4 species, 3 garter snakes, 1 peach throat, garter snake, jobiensis, and then obviously the blood python. That really interests me. That generally really interests me. And I guess here in the UK, we don't have that same complexity of herpetofauna in the wild. So we can't go out. We have 6 native reptiles and 6 native amphibians. And only 4 or 5. There's probably more we can keep as pets. So it's a bit like, it's not quite the same. Like, all right, let me get you on full screen. Let's get the garter snake. I'm going to say corn, but change the C to a P, because I think YouTube gets upset with that. Which species is this one again? These the flames again?
Yep. This is the one flame. Easterns. They're both Easterns. And this is a normal. This one has that blue dorsal stripe. I don't know if you can really see that or not. camera. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but it's got like a bluish dorsal stripe.
Yeah,
Might be
yeah,
different, but
yeah. They are
frame next
nice.
to it. You see how like they different in pattern too. So it's
Oh,
like
that
the
blue, the blue
flame
showed up.
has.
They're quite there. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, but the one has like a checkered pattern. The other one's almost all black up top. And these are both just Eastern.
They are not. I'm gonna have to see what we have available here. Here in the UK later. Mike
Yeah,
and
and these
Fee
are
have
both
already.
just full-grown males. This is like how big they are in my hand.
It's mad. It's interesting that they don't really have issues with each other, so that's good to know. And it's good that they're sexually dimorphic because they grow up, and if one's big, it's a female. Because the idea of
Yeah.
probing snakes scares me.
Yeah, same.
So I'm not really into that. I don't know what's going on. So something about me wanting a steak now. Paul's. Oh, here. Okay. Paul's lizard brain is be chirping, especially now that I want a snake. Don't worry, Mike. We can talk him out of it. I got a melanistic garter snake on one. Considering I can't afford black trees, we're gonna have a melanistic garter snake called Reaper and Raven. We're gonna do it with the garter snakes.
They're perfect.
Anyway, where we at with everything? What's Patreon exclusive? I don't know. There are lizards on my Patreon that I got that I'm probably not going to post publicly for. Definitely not this year. So if you're interested, join the link. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. The only garter species I'd care to keep are illegal in my state because they're native. Lowe's says Eastern. Love the Easterns and Commons. I don't know what garter snake
Yeah, they're my
species
favorite.
that are legal in your state, but I'm liking the I'm going to impulse buy some melanistics tonight, Mike. There's nothing you can do to stop me. It's a terrible decision and I don't condone it, but I'm a grown up and I'll do these things if I said wish it. Hey, LFA Terenia. Terino, I don't know what that is. I don't know what's going on. Cave races. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a snake guy.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, no idea. But yeah, if there's any final questions, guys, because we're gonna slowly start wrapping up because I need to control myself. And I did think about making them earlier, like starting the podcast at like 7, because then I don't have to stress so much of being awake. Beauty states. I used to have Ridley's cave races. Couldn't tell you the Latin on them, but I used to have them. Anyway, so yeah, if there's nothing else, we have the 2 wrap-up questions. If there's nothing else that you wish to address, or if there's any final questions, guys, make sure you like the video. Logan's link. I don't know if you wanted any other links. Your Instagram link is in the description. I don't know if there's any other. Yeah, your Instagram's in the link.
I am on Facebook and I'm starting TikTok now. I guess I've been uploading the past few days on that. So
feel free to
Instagram is where I mainly am.
send me any of your links. The Instagram link is in the description, but send me. We could touch on that a little bit actually. We'll touch a little bit on the social media because we were talking about it a bit off air. Have you got a goal for social media? Are you just posting because you're posting? Is there a method to the madness?
No, I'm kind of just posting to post, I guess, to show off the snakes, try to get more love to garters, and also the peace trots as well. Yeah, I don't know. The goal, I did set a goal for like try to get 10K followers this year. Almost halfway there. So
nice. I'm just gonna try and bring up your Instagram now and see if I can share the screen. Because I feel like that'd be a nice. All right, let me remember how to do this. Share screen. There we go. Share. Can we all see that? Oh, no, never mind. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there we go. Let's go full screen.
Yep, that's me.
Okay, right. Bear with me, everybody. I'm gonna go through some things. My laptop tends to go really slow when I'm doing this, so bear with it, everybody. But we'll go through and do a liking spree because I'm a terrible person and I never like anybody's posts. So I like that one. There we go. Have you got? Oh, where's the There's a Paludarium build recently, no?
Yeah,
This one?
that one. No.
No.
That's just the overview of it. I think it's down a little bit.
That's a sick video picture. Eating under the water is cool. This one?
I think it might be that one. Is it that one? No, it's not that one.
I swear it's fairly recent.
It is pretty recent.
Yeah, let me go back to the top.
But it should have been past. It should have been past that one. It should be still down more.
Still down more.
Yeah.
This one?
No, keep going.
This
Huh?
one?
Maybe. No, it's not that one. Huh? Maybe I don't know where it went.
Let me just check on my. Let's play a video in the background. I'll check it on my phone because I had it on my phone earlier. Let me find it, and then I'll be able to get it up. Who knows? I don't know. Link is in the description, everybody. Feel free. You can see Logan has got some thick.
Yeah, there's a couple
shit.
builds there.
Yeah. The Jobies. Stunning. That one could be a boy, you know.
Yeah, it could be. I call it a girl, I guess. That's Saphira.
You see the little lump already straight after the tail base.
Yeah.
Shut up, Paul. He's a girl. Oh, the melanistics are sick. But then saying that, from that image, she looks like a she. Oh, Fee, if you're still here, tell me that you don't want this. That literally looks like a cobra, doesn't it?
They do. They're insane.
They're sick. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't you. Maybe I just am that terrible friend that never ever comments. But I remember seeing one, and I was like, "That is so sick." I swear it was you, and you
These are the
replied to me.
Japalas. They're super feisty.
Super friendly. Do these guys are grass snakes? They play dead. Do the garter snakes play dead at all, or do they not do that?
No, hognose snakes do.
Yeah. He looks like a little derp.
Mm-hmm.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
Like Japala.
They're cool, man. Ooh. Yeah, so you planning on doing like a YouTube or anything, or just mainly?
I want to start getting into YouTube, like do actual like long form content, but I just haven't gotten to it yet.
It's hard, man. It's worth it, but it's hard. That's so cool how they can just eat underwater.
Yeah, these guys are like tiny little anacondas.
Yeah, man.
And then you can see in that video, you can see the rear fang really good.
Yeah. Is this all just on your phone?
Yep.
I need to change over, man. The iPhone's been doing me really dirty lately.
Honestly, I need to get a new one. This one's getting old. And there's a crack right through the front camera too, so I'm lucky I'm actually able to do this.
No idea. That's a sick video. But yeah, all of Logan's links are in the, well, I say all, Instagram, and as of in the next couple of days will be in the link below. I'm going to remove this now because it's causing me to lag. Okay, we should be back. Hello, everybody. All right, let's see what chat's saying quickly. Paul message. I don't know what's going on. Roger that. Lake Chapala got our snakes. I built like a Nerodia.
Yeah.
What did I miss? You missed that we're getting Reaper and Raven, the black Garter snakes. Geralt the Garter. My laptop's freezing. My laptop's like 2011 MacBook. It's just not built for this. Probably has a
the computer I have is like 10 years old.
No, Paul has the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I don't even have the 14, let alone the 15. Yeah, I'm behind the times. 2 years behind the times, guys. I was tempted to get the 15, but if I'm honest, I have like a MacBook and it's like meant to be all integrated, and I have an iPad and all this other stuff. And then I'm like, the camera's just really not that great. So I don't know, maybe I'll change over. Like my friends on Samsung, they send me some pictures sometimes of like a super macro shot, and I'm like, I can't do stuff like that. But anyway, I don't know what's going on.
That's pretty good. I don't know. Does me good, I guess. It takes pretty good close-up pictures and videos.
My phone's hit and miss. Sometimes it's like, oh my god, that's sick, and other times it's like, oh, this is terrible. Like, why is it so blurry? And I'll try and like film a YouTube video on it, and it'll just like, I need to close. It's really lagging. Let me just stop screen share. Bear with me, everybody. Let me close this Instagram tag. So my laptop. Yeah, Dan is potentially contemplating a peach throat for himself. He's not sure what he wants, and I'm trying to get him to get a peach throat. 30, living in the Stone Age, huh? Maybe I'm just poor, guys. Stop judging me for my phone, okay? Have you seen how much money I spend on lizards? You think I can afford good phones? Anyway. Look at the super chat. Oh God, Jesus Christ. I didn't even see the super chat. I missed it. Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, Trinity Dragons. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. I did not even see that. Thank you for reminding me, everybody, /fee/everybody. I did not see that. I'm so sorry. Where even was that? Was I looking at the Instagram when that happened? Probably. Yeah, I was. I was looking at Instagram. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you all. I've really enjoyed your time. We have the wrap up questions anyway. Any final questions, guys? Drop them in now. But I've actually enjoyed talking about garter snakes. Actually, I was a little bit nervous myself to be like, okay, I need to diversify and talk about something that I don't necessarily know about, and that was a little bit nervous. So thank you for helping me inadvertently, because I didn't tell you that you need to help me through this first non-monitor podcast.
No, I mean, thank you for having me on. Yeah, it's been a good time.
Yeah, man. I enjoy the pods. Like I said to Fee before, I was like, I get to the point where I'm like, okay, I've got a podcast, and I have to like psych myself up for it just purely because I know that I'm going to be awake for the evening. So I'm like, I need to make sure that I'm awake, like get the energy drinks in, and then I know I'm going to be awake afterwards. And as soon as I get into it, I'm like, I just don't want it to stop. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, I have work tomorrow. But Sundays are the only days that I can actually commit to every single week. So for me, it's really hard to do any other day. Logan and Paul, in your opinion and realistically, what would be the ideal enclosure for a peach rate? I will let you start with that. We touched on it a little bit, but we can finish it out on it. What would your opinion be on that, Logan?
So my adults, or when they become adults, they're going to be going into, it's going to be 8 feet tall. Well, my ceiling is kind of slanted as well, so it goes like from 8 feet to probably 6-7 feet in the back. So it's going to be slanted like that a little bit. They're going to be 5 feet wide and 5 feet deep. I'm going to try and do a nice water features for them all. And then just some dirt, to dig if they ever eventually want to dig, at least for the females. you know, so they can lay eggs.
Yeah.
Lots of climbing spots, lots of hiding spots. That's it.
Yeah, for me, so mango's in a 6 long, 4 deep, 6 tall, and that's internal measurements. And mango is 28 inches total length, and that's an okay size. I'm happy with that. So if toad is up to 3 and a bit foot, if toad was 4 foot, I'd want her in an 8 foot long, 4 foot deep, 6 foot tall, and up to 3 foot. I think 4 deep, 6 tall, 6 long is good. But it's also as well is it's what you do with the enclosure. As long as you're like making use of all the space with big branches, shelving, like climbable walls. Like, yeah, right, mine's cheap, but it's just cheap trellis. But mango can climb everywhere, so you've made the cage 3-dimensional. So a slightly smaller cage done really well is better than a big cage done terribly. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to add trellis to the sides of my tents. That's something
Yeah.
that I didn't do that I feel like I want to do.
It does help. Like, I touched on this a little bit on True Tales, but I listened to a podcast with Dylan and Phil Leitz. I want to get Phil on here actually because I think he's great, but I'd also like to get Dylan on here because I think he's great too. But anyway, Phil was touching on what it is to be natural, like what is natural, and he was basically saying is natural nature that you've never touched, is natural the urban park, is natural a high-rise building that a bird's used to make its nest on, is natural a farm. Like, what is natural, what is nature? And then also I sort of elaborated on it in True Tales and be like, okay, we want to keep our animals naturalistically. Bear with me, everybody, I need to like do some discussion. No one even knew. For people on audio, that was fine. People on the YouTube, they're like, oh god. Anyway, like I'm a mess of a man. The natural, I want the enclosures to look natural, but then we go in and pick our animals up, which isn't natural. So like, where do we draw this line with natural? So as much as I looked at the trellis when I did it and I felt like a bit embarrassed and ashamed by it because I was like, oh, it's cheap and it doesn't look natural, it's fully functional and Mango uses it and it was cheap. So I've gotten over myself and I'm like, you know what? I'm doing what's best for my animal in my abilities and you can't do any more than that. So yeah, I would recommend it because I think it cost me £100 to do by 4 bits of trellis to do the whole enclosure. And she uses like every square inch of it, so it's like it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love you too, man. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate you as always. I'm just double checking we're not missing anything. Seeing monitors in glass or smooth-sided enclosures with nothing to grip on crushes me. Like, to be honest, I'm trying to get away from going on Facebook because it does just hurt my soul. And the more that I worry about other people's keeping and other people's... I went on a bit of a rant. I'm slowly dying here, guys. Bear with me. I went on a bit of a rant on my Instagram story. I'm kind of getting fed up with all this judgment and all this just... I don't know, just bullshit. Like, just enjoy your hobby. If you're happy with how you keep your animals and you're happy and your animals are happy, then who fucking cares? You know, I've got past this, like, oh, this enclosure shit. Yeah, right. It might be shit. But like me saying that it's shit and focusing on it's shit doesn't do anything for anybody. So I'm just trying to get away from that side of keeping because it doesn't benefit anyone, in my opinion. But yeah. Can we add what to the bingo card? You know, the bingo card sort of went away. It's still here. We still have the bingo card. I don't know how many we ticked off today. But the bingo card... Oh my god, I need to get rid of the comments. So I didn't talk about my sign.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, man. The bingo card... It was an early doors. And it was made early doors. But the signed poster from Croc Doc himself. I have a signed lace picture. My mate breeds tree monitors because I always used to go, oh, my mate that breeds tree monitors. I used to talk about being bitten by a tree monitor quite a lot, hence the venom. I used to talk quite a lot. This is when the podcast like started. I used to talk quite a lot on how expensive my bills are. Crocs, we got to tick that one off. I'm selling up because I always used to be like, oh, I'm downsizing. Mango's a bitch. Yeah, we touched on that. Tick. LEDs are the best. We didn't talk on that. And racks are bad. If anything, we said racks are good, and I'm no longer. Well, they're not good. Fucking fuck racks. But we said that I'm never talking about them ever again. So we need a new bingo card, everybody. But yeah, that's the bingo. Right, everyone. Like I said, we're going to wrap up in 20, 25 minutes. We haven't done the wrap up questions yet. We'll be doing another 25 minutes. Welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So, avoiding Facebook. Yeah, that's definitely on the Facebook. Yeah, we need a new bingo card. Say again, sorry?
Can I take a second?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no stress.
There's some garter snakes.
There's some garter snakes. Right, everybody. We are going to start wrapping up. So if there's any final questions, thank you all for tuning in to this podcast. Once Logan's back, we're going to ask him the wrap-up questions, and then we're going to end this shit. So you all get in here now. We've got to add Fee. Can we get this? Yeah, Fee. All right, let's get some suggestions for the bingo whilst we're sort of waiting. Fee, we've got to get this, or Fee, I'm getting this, or whatever. Yeah. We need a new bingo card. We need a V2. Fee, we're getting this. That's good. That is good. Michael, get on making the bingo. I don't know where he is. Someone send him a message. Yeah, there is only one bingo card. Thank you for the love, Dan. Thank you very much, my friend. Now, we didn't really touch much on peach throats, but I hope you're going to get one now. And we'll do Project Peach Throat. Oh, yes, bam. Boom. Boom. Bam. We could put bam in a high-pitched voice. Bam. That would be a good one for the bingo card. So ADHD brain. B, we're getting this. Bam. I feel like I talk about Riddler quite a lot now. So I feel like we need Riddler on there. Gary's naked. Oh, Riddler talks about that more, to be honest. But yeah, keep him coming. Hello.
What's up?
So, if there's no final words, we're going to get into the wrap-up questions. So have you got anything else you would like to say before we get into the wrap-up questions? Anything you want to talk about?
I do not.
Nice and simple. I like it. So, what is the one piece of advice you would give someone starting your reptile hobby?
Try to stick to what you like, I guess, and what you really know what you're going to want.
Solid advice. It's hard, but it's solid advice.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. I 100% agree. It's just bloody hard because I struggle with that now. Also, everybody listening, where did it go? The creature that Riddler created on True Tales, for those that know, I have ordered, I believe, 22 stickers, and there will only be 22 stickers. So if you want a sticker, message me or Riddler, and we're going to give some away, and the rest will be sadly for sale. But what they cost us, we're not going to make any money on it, considering I paid for all of it as well, because I know what Riddler's like. He'll try and con all of you. I'm not like that. I'm a man of the people. So there are 22 stickers, and as long as you can cover the shipping, let us know. But we're going to give some away when they actually turn up. They should turn up with me next week. So keep an eye on keep an eye on my socials / Riddler's socials for that. Yes, I made stickers. There are stickers. I made official proper stickers, like nice ones, like my stickers that the Fellowship got me. The same company that made these stickers, these ones here, the fancy ones. We have the creature. So yeah, we have some. Anyway,
That's awesome.
did I buy envelopes? No, that's what I've got you for, my beautiful, wonderful, lovely girlfriend. But yeah, message myself or Riddler. There's only 22. And when I say there's only 22, if 23 people message us, I'll just order more. But I'm just saying. There's only 22. And me and Riddler will keep one each. There's only 20. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else more to touch on. Paul casually mentioning unveil. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, the last question, and I always changes. So I'm going to say, what piece of life advice has really stuck with you? Question mark.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
It's a hard one to answer.
It is, yes. I don't know. I feel like you're never gonna know like what's going on or what's happening, you know, or yeah, I don't know.
I know what you're saying. It's almost like the moment that you're in is not forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going to happen. Might get a little bit worse, but then it gets better. Might get a bit better, but then it gets worse. So I know what you're saying. I'm just going to double check everybody that I haven't missed anything. And then we are going to wrap this up at the 3-hour mark. See, I stuck to my guns.
Hey, pretty good.
2 hours, 56 minutes and 32 seconds. Oh, yeah, I think that's it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Logan, for coming on and being a guest. And also thank you for being a supporter of the podcast. I really appreciate your support, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
No, you're more than welcome. Like I say, I did want to branch out, and I am a shit friend, person, follower, supporter, because I don't like or comment on people's stuff, so I don't do it to anybody.
I barely like. I'm really trying to get into liking everybody's stuff as well. So don't
selfishly, apparently, it's better for Instagram growth. If you like and comment on people's stuff, apparently, it makes your stuff get better. Apparently,
Makes sense.
Yeah. I don't like or comment like anything. I'm terrible for it, so I'm sorry that I don't, but I do like your stuff, and I think you keep your lizards incredibly well. I don't know enough about snakes, but you look like you care for them very well as well.
Thank you. I try.
And I've enjoyed the actual cameos of the snakes today, and it's made me want garter snakes. So I'm sure other people have listened to this and they've got like, okay, yeah, man. I won't just rush into them because I joke, but I do have respect for my beautiful lady friend Fee. I just have to convince her, but for the most part, she doesn't mind. But I appreciate what you're doing. You know, you've got a species that you're super passionate about. They're underrated. They're not a lot is known about them in the sense of like how good they are, because most people garter snakes smelly, whatever.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that you're pushing stuff out there to actually show people that they're actually pretty awesome, cool.
Yeah, as long as you hold them, you know, at least like a little bit. It's like, and so I don't say like I force handle them either. It's like I do kind of just go in there and pick them up. But if they're wigging out, you know, I'll set them down. But for the most part, you just pick them up, and within a couple seconds, they just naturally chill out, and they're like, okay, you know, it's okay. So.
Yeah. So thanks for the good podcast, last. We're going to go through these last comments and we're going to go. Jesus Christ, BH. I don't know what's going on, but good chat, Logan. Always great. Good shit, guys. No violence, BH. Got feet. Michael's not here tonight. The feed's doing a bit. Awesome episode. Thank you, Logan. Thank you, Logan. Love the stream and the garters.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone, or in my neck of the woods, good evening. Thank you very much for tuning in, Mr. Serenity Dragons, Mr. and Mrs. Serenity Dragons. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Logan and Paul. Thank you for tuning in. BH is shooting a water gun. BH is here. He loves it. He's here every day. He's having a great time. We'll do when I get back to Germany. I don't know what's going on. Okay, all right. Kayla made gumbo. The smell is making me hungry. It's a good timing. Okay. Me too, Fee, but I'm not going to talk about that. Yummy. Got shrimp. Jesus Christ. Okay, right. I'm going to leave you Americans to do American stuff. How's my iPod tank going? I'm no longer a part of iPod gang because I felt like I was part of a pyramid scheme and I don't really want to be part of that anymore. But going really well, thank you very much.
I seen a bunch of isopods running around my Garter tank while we were sitting here.
Oh, that's it. That's a fair
Yeah.
shout. That's even more of a cool reason.
So like they're all bioactive basically. So they all have isopods and springtails living in there.
That's pretty cool. I have some domino roaches, and I've recently just put them in with my millipedes, and I didn't realize because they were just in a tub in my bug shelf. The domino roaches are a diurnal species, so I've sat today because they are now on my gecko rack. I've sat today watching my domino roaches just run around chasing each other, which has been pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. America, honestly, Team America, the Secret Service, whatever the fucking puppet film was called, is one of my favorite films ever. So I'm here for it. But yeah, anything in the Comparus genus is definitely part of a pyramid scheme. Yeah. Paul's gonna Google go. No, Paul's straight onto melanistic garter snakes. Is what Paul's onto after this podcast. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Logan's links are in the link below. Please check him out. Follow, like, comment, subscribe. Join the Patreon if you care to know what my secrets are. If not, just like the video. Love you all. That's about it, really. So this has been the Captive Raptors podcast. This is myself and Logan out.